right. All right. Hello, everybody. We're going to call to order today's City Council meeting for Ogden Valley City. It is Tuesday, April 21st. It is 6 p.m. and we are here at the Huntsville Town Hall Council Chambers, which is our anchor location. We are also available online via Zoom for electronic participation. Calling this meeting to order in attendance, we do have a quorum. We have present today Councilmember Hickman, Councilmember Shaw, and Councilmember Hoagland. Council members Julie Baker and Booth are absent. I am Mayor Wampler. We have our recorder and our IT director, as well as our treasurer and our finance advisor present with us today in chambers. Everyone who is able, please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. You will follow that with a moment of silence. Thank you. All right. First thing on the agenda outside of that would be from the time for public comment. This is a time period for the public to come forward and speak with their city council and mayor about anything they wish that is under the purview of the city and the city council. So anyone that wishes to come forward and speak, you may speak on any of the topics that you would like. Please come forward to about the front row so that the owl can pick you up. Please state your name and your address for the record so that we can get that recorded. Try to keep your comments to about 2 to 3 minutes and make them germane to city business. With that, is there anybody in the room that would like to speak? Any topic at all? Yes, sir.
Hello, my name is Mike Collins with Marvel Builders. We're representing property owners in Eagle Ridge subdivision and Harborview subdivision. And I've heard some positive rumors that maybe the building moratorium could be wrapped up by the first part of May. And I and one other builder have wondered if arrangements can be made or have been made so that we can apply for building permits for homes right away for stuff that we've got ready to go, and so that it'd be all plan checked and ready to go by the time the moratorium is listed.
Okay.
So that's my statement.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mike. Anyone else from inside the chambers? All right, anybody online? Please raise your hand and Kathy will unmute you. Nothing yet. Anyone else in the chambers? Anything at all? Alright. I'm gonna get another second. We're gonna go going once, online or in the room, going twice. So here we go. I will close the section for public comment. 6:34. And we will move forward with the consent agenda. For clarification, we are looking at the consent agenda for adoption, items A, B, and C. It was agreed upon in or discussed in the work session yesterday that the Beacon Code enforcement contract was not yet ready. So item D will be stricken from the agenda or will be tabled for future reference. So we're looking to adopt the minutes as of A. B is the approval of payments and ratification of invoice, and C is the approval of new business licenses. Would any council member like to move any item A, B, or C out of consent for discussion?
I'd like to move new business licenses out.
Into discussion? Okay. All right, we will do that. Any other items to be moved out for discussion?
I would like to move the invoices.
Okay. How about minutes? That's the only one left. Anyone want to move minutes? If not, then I will Call for a motion to approve the minutes in the consent agenda, and then we will separately discuss the other items.
I move that we approve the minutes to the consent agenda.
I have a motion on the table from Councilmember Hickman. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed is no, and so therefore the minutes have been adopted. And thank you very much to our recorder for the hard work of all of those minutes. She is way up to date. She is exceeding expectations with our minutes. All right, now moving on, we have two items for discussion under that. We have the approval of payments first, so can we discuss all that?
Yes, indeed. Just to put these in context, we are moving to utilize a system that is commonly utilized by all other cities called Cassell. And so our valiant volunteers and finance director are getting that up to speed. So we have a list of invoices that the so-called department heads, the people who are hitting portfolios for these areas have approved. And is that correct? They've seen what is on this list and approved them?
It is the process, we're still working on our process,
Yeah,
so we do want the mayor to look at them. Just double check while we're doing our process.
so given that this is still a process, and also given that it's good to pay people for work they do when it's timely and willing to work for many of our vendors, I suggest that we approve these subject to a final approval of those department heads to make sure they are fine with that, and mayor's approval before the checks are cut. But this is very good product. It is our first foray into Excel. And so I'm asking, can our department directors just take a second look at any of these if they have any hiccups or concerns? And then we're going to have the mayor do, the final look before payments are actually made.
So okay, I was under the impression that we were moving it so that the department heads would be the ones with the signature. You still want my signature?
Our finance director just said she'd like the
I thought
mayor
you wanted
to see them, yeah.
If you're okay with just taking the report and changing it. Do that. Sorry, that was.
No, that's okay. My only statement is I will not be signing things I have not seen approved.
You know what, because we're prudent with taxpayer funds, I think we should look at these.
Okay.
And
We just finished a new process with Casella, it's gonna make it easier to see who's approved it and try to defend it, so we just finished the software setup today.
excellent.
So moving forward, it will be less confusing. I do apologize for confusion, the setup.
Don't
process.
apologize, I didn't see this fantastic. What?
I was just wondering, because I was looking at those,
Mm-hmm.
and I was wondering what election service fees are.
Janet?
I got a bill from Brittany Hatch's office for the November election, both the primary and the general for our seats.
Well, yeah. We should pay the freight. Okay.
It was seats to me too.
The LRB study, the so-called feasibility study, says that that is the only one-time bill that we are gonna have to. When the feasibility study was created that allowed the creation of the city, the only one-time bill that it recognized was that bill. As we know, there are multiple bills that we are paying now in the creation of our city.
Yes.
Okay,
There we go, gotta pay for the election.
good to know.
Yeah.
And,
So the proposal is we approve it, subject to the department heads who have not yet approved it, approving it, and then go to the mayor. Is that the proposal? And Sherry, you know which ones have not yet approved? Thank you.
Good.
I can support that, as long as the mayor is okay with that process.
as long as people are fine with the fact that I'm not signing a check until I've seen the invoice, people will get paid whenever I see an invoice.
There we go.
That's the way we want it.
Okay. So you want to make that motion?
Okay, I move that for this cycle of invoices. We have finance confirm that these invoices have in fact been approved by the responsible portfolio lead. And then that the invoices be shared with mayor for personal review. and approval.
Do you have the chair? I have a motion on the table, Councilmember Hopeless, wait a second.
I second.
All right, all in favor?
I,
All right, that is unanimous. I don't.
They get an opportunity to unmute.
I'm sorry, so, Councilmember Julie Baker, I am told you are online. Are you a observer or are you a full participant?
And actually, the airport's registered at city.
It's possible.
Needed that.
Right, she did not inform me she was going to be, in fact, she informed me she was not, so
Yeah,
I
that's
would
very
imagine
good.
that she's an observer. If anything, okay, so that's a unanimous decision to approve that motion as it was stated, for those, ratification of invoice register. All right, moving on to the business licenses, new business licenses for the month. Councilmember Shaw, you wanted to discuss this?
yes, just today, I got an email from Crystalline DeVries at Weber County, which brought into question if, business licenses are being checked like they should be. Just, I thought that they were going through the process that I was told they were going through when we first did this ILA, and Iris had taken me through and shown me who's checking this, you know, and so Crystalline said she'd be happy to tag those departments if we have ILAs with them that are.
So you're under the impression the process isn't being followed.
I'm
So
under the
whether-
impression that the process might not be followed.
So are you suggesting that we table this thing?
I'm thinking we should table it.
Okay. That sounds reasonable.
Okay.
How many businesses does it affect typically? I don't believe.
There's 4?
Yeah.
5?
No, I'm just, 5 is my guess, it's not a lot.
I think it's 4.
Are these renewals or new business?
So these are good.
They're all new.
We have another meeting in 2 weeks, so
Yes.
you can always call a special meeting again.
It's
So-
4. Can we
Okay.
move to table?
Yeah, I have to have a motion to table, yes. So,
Oh, I move to table approval of new business licenses.
is there a second?
Second.
I have a motion to table from Councilmember Shaw, a second from Councilmember Hickman, all in favor?
Aye.
I,
That's a.
Aye.
What was that?
Becky is there.
Peggy, are you a voting participant in this meeting?
Fully participating, I'm
That's the
trying to
question, you
hear,
can't vote part way. You're either in or out, are you in?
I'm in for the next 40 minutes and then I'm on a flight out.
Yeah.
Can't do that?
Uh,
Okay,
Sure, you got it. Yeah, sure you got it. Alright, so then we've got, I don't know when you came into the meeting for the record, but we have now Councilmember Dylan Baker as of 6:13 is now present in the meeting.
Can we ask her what time?
What time is your heart out there, Councilmember Dylan Baker?
9:40.
Whose time?
Yeah, 9:40, been 3 hours.
Oh, my apologies.
You're in Brazil?
6:40
Yes.
or two.
6:40.
Is a heart out, alright, here we go. So for the record, Dylan Baker is at 6:13, we will speak again at 40 to notice for absence, or exit. Alright, so that's 4. Board members to approve the tabling of new business licenses. So motion is adopted, as there are no, okay, the table. Alright, yeah, next in line, we did table the contracts building code enforcement previously, so that has not been discussed. Agenda item 4, finance presentation. I will introduce our finance expert. We've got Sherry Broadbent, which she's here from KNC, our CPA and everything, to just where we are currently at. Sherry, take your lead.
These are the updated March numbers. Our general fund cash balance is $463,000.
Can you hear? Can they hear? Okay,
I'll talk about.
there we go.
And this is just, it's not shout, it's fine, it doesn't mean we have all this money to spend, because there's a lot of gracious vendors that have delayed sending their invoices that we haven't paid yet, so. That is just a snapshot in time about what the account balances are in these accounts. Your current cash fund at this time was 28,000, your donation revenue was 4,443, and a lot of this is for the city. Interest earnings is 1,631, transportation revenue is 27,000, and sales and use tax revenue was 307,000. I was able to get updated email numbers just about an hour ago, which is great to have. So our January sales tax 102,000, February 107, March was 98,000, which it went down everywhere in the state. And then April was 109,000. So our current budget for sales tax is $896,000. And what's really important to know is that with these new numbers, we're gonna have a budget revenue shortfall of $258,746. So the most important thing I wanna stress is just because you have money in your budget doesn't mean it's money that's spendable. We are gonna have to adjust the budget with these new projections. Our sales tax is going to be a lot less. With our road funds, the transportation tax, we're getting about 10,000 a month, which is actually more than what we had budgeted for. We budgeted 6,000 for the 6 months, so that is good. That one's coming over expectations. And our Class C road money in March, we got 114,000, which will actually put us pretty close to where we budgeted also, because we get this money every 2 months. And it does fluctuate.
Boa noite, senhoras e senhores passageiros, bem-vindos ao
Our budget timeline's coming quick. We'll start having more meetings talking more about the budget. We'll need to do a notice for the tentative budget. We'll do an adoption of the tentative budget, and it is tentative. It will change as we have more discussions. We'll have public hearings, we'll have work meetings. These are all coming up. Well, and in June is when we'll finalize the budget. So there's more coming, and as we get more data, more numbers, we'll be able to have a more realistic budget. It's been helpful in the March numbers to buy when we got our local portion of the sales tax, so we are refining and we'll have more meetings so that we can be transparent and everybody can know where we're at.
Okay. Thank you very much. I know we muted because of background noise. Can we unmute for a minute? Peggy, I just wanna make sure you were able to hear Sherry with all of that. Sorry, Councilmember Doing Baker.
Yes, I did get to hear it and I saw her screen.
Okay, perfect. So basically, quick and dirty summary is that when we did a forecasting budget, before we got started as a city, we were putting some numbers together based off of best guesstimates. We are at least coming in close to $260,000 short of that, and so whatever money we were originally forecasting to be able to have at our disposal is not there by 260,000. I wanna make sure that is emphasized, as Councilmember Hickman would say, foot stopped. For everyone who is approving invoices that want my signature.
And I will also say, we have noted that all along.
Yes, all over, but that was forecasted based off of best guesstimates. We are now seeing real numbers. Alright. Thank you very much. Okay, so and just another quick stuff is that we will and by state procedures, we will be having a public meeting, just a regular public meeting, but that will be there to adopt officially a tentative budget coming up in May. Whether that's our May 5th is what we believe it might be, but at the very latest, it's the second meeting of May. And that will walk through the actual fiscal 27 coming up year budget for the public, so that everybody gets an idea of what we're looking at. It is tentative, it will change, but there will be a full public presentation and then tentative adoption. All right, so that is item agenda 4. Item agenda 5, ordinance 2026-21, the floodplain was also requested to be tabled for a later date in our work session yesterday. So that one, we're gonna go ahead and skip over and move to agenda item 6. Agenda item 6 is the resolution 2026-22, adoption of electronic signature. We are here to discuss and possibly adopt, deny, or table this resolution. Councilmember Hoagland was the one who discussed it yesterday. If you want to briefly summarize it again.
Sure. We have, as a city, logistical challenges. Getting all of the required signatures for contracts, for ordinances, resolutions, and the like. And this occurred to me, I was doing some legal work for someone, another entity, and I realized, hey, the other party, this is a legal agreement, and then electronic signature, maybe the city can do this and cure that problem, which has really been difficult in finalizing all our documents. So we pitched that to Corbin, our outside counsel, and he said, well, of course you can do that. So he's produced this resolution, and we will be using, recognized electronic signature sources which have documentation of who and when signed. It's not just a cut and paste. It's like DocuSign is the one we mostly know. So it's a good practice, and hopefully we'll streamline our finalization of documents.
All right. Any discussion needed by city council?
I move we approve resolution 2026-22.
Okay, I have a motion for approval by Councilmember Hickman. Is there a second?
A second.
I have a second by Councilmember Shaw. This is a resolution. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Councilmember Dealey Davis. That was 4 ayes, that leaves 0 to deny. And resolution 2026-22 is adopted unanimously. All right, moving on, item number 7 is resolution 2026-21, adopting the MOU with Eden Valley Trails. Up for discussion and possible adoption, denial, or tabling of this item as well.
I'll give the quick summary. We've got double 2026-21s there.
We do, but one of them was tabled.
Right, so we're gonna assume that this one is 21.
This one is the 21.
So we talked about this in work session, 2 work sessions ago. It's a no-brainer according to council. We'll sign an MOU with Eden
Oh,
Valley.
no, one was an ordinance, one was a resolution.
You're right,
Like-
my bad, you're right.
Ah.
Ha. Anyways, we'll sign an MOU with Eden Valley Trails. The Eden Valley Trails can do various work on our Pine View Trail system and others. They do the same thing with Weaver County. We all agreed in working session that it was the right thing to do. So we need to vote on it. What I'm gonna suggest is we not only vote to approve the MOU, but also authorize Eden Valley Trails to spend no more than $700 on some bollards that they say they need to buy to replace some bollards that are missing or broken or something.
I have a question. Is
Yes.
that in order? It's my understanding that this money can be pulled from the impact fee funds. And possibly even Weaver County's impact fee funds on the same subject. So.
I do not know what we can and can't use for the checking account. So.
But this resolution is on.
This resolution is authorized the MOU. I'm suggesting that we also authorize them up to $700 for these bollards that Alan has told me that need to be replaced. And then we figure out internally whether or not the impact.
Is that something we can do? I don't know, can we slip that in there? Council with an S? Mr. Gordon? It's not listed as a separate agenda item, is that something we can?
Is it on?
Think
Yes, it is.
Corbin, did you get the question?
Repeat it real quick, I'm sorry.
Corbin, we're on resolution 2026-21, the MOU.
Yes,
Eden Valley Trails has requested. I'm at the tail end of it, virus. I'm 13, I'm going through puberty at 62 years old. Has requested up to 700 up to $700 to replace some bullards that they know need to be repaired or replaced, and that's what they would do under this MOU. Can we, as part of this vote to approve up to $700 as well as approve the MOU?
Probably not. Does it allow it under the MOU? If the terms of the MOU would allow for the 700, then we just adopt that and then we can do it there.
The term of the MOU, puberty's coming back, is that we, the council, need to approve every one of the requests for money.
So we didn't notice it up, so we would have to do it in the next meeting.
Right, so I recommend we approve the MOU, and Ellen can formally request it, we'll put it on the docket for the 5th of May.
That sounds perfect. All right, so I believe I have a motion to approve resolution 2026-22 from Councilmember, nope, that's the wrong one. Resolution 2026-21 from Councilmember Hickman. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a second from Councilmember Hoagland. All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, aye.
All right, and the 4 ayes. Any opposed? I don't hear any opposed. 4 ayes. All right. So we have resolution 2026-21 adopting the MOU with Eaton Valley Trails is adopted unanimously 4-0. Moving on to agenda item 8, ordinance 2026-12, general plan. On the table is to discuss and possibly adopt, deny, or table the Ogden Valley proposed general plan. So, I believe we were sent from our planning staff a revised document for the general plan. For discussion first.
I would ask our planner to succinctly remind us what we asked him to do and what he did in this final draft of our general plan.
After discussion yesterday, you asked that I remove any extraneous content from the plan that was not required under state statute, and ensure that all statistical information was cited correctly, and include a clause stating that while most of the demographic information from the 2016 plan had been removed rather than revised, simply because of the new nature of the incorporated city. There's a lack of current data, and that those sections will be updated as soon as new data is available.
Thank you, Brian. Peggy, I don't know if you've had a chance to read through this draft final. We were very particular in the land use section to remove that long paragraph that created the TDRs as a thing. We were very careful to remove things for bonus density. We changed some shalls to may, paraphrasing. So we believe that we were faithful to what you asked and wanted in your comments at work session last week.
There was one thing I disagreed with.
And the one thing that we left in was paragraph 1.4.2. That's the one you're talking about, right, Tia? Where the general plan directs the creation of a TDR ordinance. We left that one in there because we felt that it made that the way this needs to be done in the future is be a TDR ordinance, not spread into things like form-based as was done in the past. So we were very deliberate in how we approached the comments that you provided on the work session last week.
Yes, I did see that. I was able to read it because it came through as a document. I couldn't open anything on SharePoint, but I was able to read that because Brian, is that the one he sent out as a separate document yesterday? Is that the final version?
I believe so,
Well,
yes.
The draft final was set this morning by Brian. Our morning, I don't know what time zone you were in.
Yeah, it felt like yesterday. Okay. Yes, I did see the last one that Brian sent with case additions. Was that the one?
I think it was with all of our,
Yes.
yeah.
Mia,
The lady-
Don, and Kay, and the mayor to a certain extent, went through this document, edited it with the recommendations of the planner. And what we all have in front of us was what the 3 council members who were present yesterday decided we wanted in the document to vote on today.
I have some questions of Brian. And, first of all, kudos to Brian for yet another late night. Yes, working with a miserable document to edit, very difficult. I have just a handful of technical edits, and I have one substantive edit. And I will give you an illustration of technical edits. On the front, I liked the history that was there, the adoption of the plan, just so that future generations that follow us will know that it was not just the 2016 plan, and that could be squeezed into the space available with the prior amendments by Weaver County, and also our modification through, do we do this by resolution or ordinance? I am not sure.
It's an ordinance.
Yeah, or-
Okay, so that's typical of like minor technical edits. The one substantive edit. I would like to see in here when the the water study that was done by the Utah State Geological group that was completed in 2017, it talks about the water, excuse me.
Some of the 2019.
2019
Yeah,
is when it was
2019, yeah. Okay, there, yeah, on page 7, there's reference to that. And the date needs to be changed to 2019.
The study was done in 17, it was published in 19.
I think then the publication, okay, whatever, you might wanna say published in 2019 so people know where to look for it. But I'd also like to see added a reference to the 2023 Bones pollen study.
Page 7.
Page 7.
Oh, I see. The very first thing, the Valley Hydrologic System is also that repair.
Yeah, well, it's a paragraph that begins groundwater resources in the
Okay.
study are extremely valuable.
Yeah,
And I do think part of the story of groundwater needs to be complemented by actual availability, which would be good to note there. And then there was another later page where I thought a reference would be appropriate. So that's the technical, and I would do. The others are really marginal, couple of caps here and there, you know, altogether, I think it's a fabulous piece of work you completed.
So are we gonna need a sentence to use when we move to vote on this? And are you ready to provide a sentence?
I'm ready to move.
But you gotta provide a sentence.
I will.
That's right, you got other comments,
Still
you got
have
other
discussion.
comments. Let me make sure,
but still have discussion.
yeah,
I'm ready with a sentence.
Okay.
Okay, when needed. I have a question. And it's just for Brian to confirm. So on page 22, estimated supply, I just want to confirm with you that when you put rental housing in 2024, there are 282, I believe it is, 82 or 62 households that were renter occupied housing units, that all that is, those are numbers you personally know how to confirm.
Yes.
Those are not, okay. As well as the other housing numbers, all of this is all, you kept in only things that you can footnote and actually determine.
Correct.
Okay, thank you very much. That was one of my questions. Do you have anything, anyone else have anything, or Julie Baker online?
is
There's a-
waiver, then
Quick addition that was not on the text, but rather how we adopt this. And I'd like us to consider allowing updating our statistical information as it becomes available, as data and statistics become available.
Do you wanna ask
Talked about that yesterday.
Yeah, and
Corbin anything about that?
Corbin, do you understand the question?
Just repeat that real quick.
I'll restate it, given that we're a newborn city, a lot of data characterizing the city itself is just not yet available. And some of that would be appropriate to reference in this study, and we would like to adopt this, but allowing later updates when accurate data becomes available. Is that something? It would be somewhat like an open permission for our planner to update with data that will be forthcoming.
I mean, my expectation is you're going to be spending a lot of time over the next year on your general plan. I don't know that you need to necessarily leave it in there. You're going to be back working on this extensively. And my sense is, I don't know that you would want something, the general plan is so important. I can't imagine that you guys would want to just say, oh yeah, we'll just kind of add things in that we didn't see. I think it's going to come back to you anyway. I wouldn't worry about it.
Corbin, can you clarify though, it's my recollection, and I might be wrong, I've read way too much state statute in the last couple of months. So I could be getting this wrong, if I'm looking for clarification, if we, in the future, plan to amend this general plan, whether it's to, I'm just saying amend it in just generally period, whether that's population numbers or a new strategy, do we need to go through a full new public hearing, mailing, planning commission, or are small textual amendments allowed to just be put in?
That's I do not know. Let me look that up and I'll come back and give you an answer here in just a few minutes on that.
If it's at all helpful, I believe what was listed on the front reflected there were amendments by Weaver County.
In 19th.
Yeah, and I was not aware that they went through any type of public hearing or noticing other than a regular meeting on that.
I would check this, ask Corbin to check the statute, 'cause my reading of the statute was any amendment to would cause that, but I prefer that not to be the case, but I believe that it is. Okay, any other questions about anything in particular? Anything by Councilmember Julie Baker online? We have you for 3 more minutes.
No, I'm not sure I understood Don's comment on I believe it was 1.4.
1.4.2 we kept as it came to us from the planning commission.
Okay, great. Would you read it to me, Don?
I won't, because I'm going through puberty right now. Somebody else can.
Are we talking?
T and
Yes.
T will read.
Councilmember Shaw will read that out loud.
Let me find it.
Thank you.
Excellent question.
1.4.2.
And under land use, correct, because they all have.
Under
Land use, one. Alright,
Oh,
we're talking about page 13 or 14. No, we're talking about page 15. 16 inch, 1.4.2.
okay.
And your loud teacher voice, please.
Yeah. Land use implementation, 1.4.2. Create a TDR ordinance for Ogden Valley City. The purposes of the TDR ordinance would be to establish a process for reviewing and approving proposals to transfer development rights from the agricultural protection and open space overlay areas to locations where additional development could be more appropriate receiving areas in brackets. The TDR ordinance would establish standards for review and approval of each proposed TDR. Each TDR application would include information including but not limited to identification of the lands from which development units are proposed to be removed, identification of the land to which the development units would be moved, the number of development units and types of development proposed, how water, sewer, and other services would be provided, and other, information specified by the ordinance. Standards for evaluation of the application would include such factors as detrimental or beneficial effects to both the sending and receiving properties, availability of roads and infrastructure, proximity of other development, including town centers, the proposed uses and intensity of use, consistency with private covenants, compatibility with surrounding land uses, and the extent to which the transfer advances the goals of the general plan. The resort areas and villages are likely most suitable receiving areas for transfer development units.
Thank you, Tia.
You're welcome.
My only last comment for confirmation from the city council is that within this general plan, all the original specified village areas that are left within our city boundary are still there. I want to just clarify and confirm that no, there's only one that's up for potential movement or erasure. Is everybody
Thanks.
comfortable with leaving it the way it is?
Thanks for that reminder.
And Jenna, which one would that be?
That would be the litter.
I thought, just wanted to confirm.
I would like to see it moved.
Moved or eliminated, because moved would mean we'd have to have an agreed upon place to put it.
Eliminated.
There we go. Any discussion on whether to do that or not?
I would defer to my colleague from Liberty. A consideration is the mayor and I spent an hour with the team that will manage the grant money that we have for studying, for providing edits to our general plan and doing our transportation management plan. So this will be readdressed for sure, and we could delay it to then. But if it's something that you want to make go away today, I will defer to you because that's in your district. I will offer you that on what you think, but we'll have the opportunity through this, whoever we choose as our consultants, to study what we might actually want for the future villages.
I think there is a way to do this. With some word additions saying that, with reference to the Liberty Village area, that we recommend that analysis be undertaken for alternative locations for that village.
So actually, let's go to page 31, because this map shows some circles and areas. I'm not sure what that is. So I'm only aware of 5 left within our city, and just shows more circles than that. 31, commercial village and location.
Yes.
Would you like to share it for folks playing along phone?
Yes.
Sure, that'd be great. And Brian, maybe you can speak to what these circles in Huntsville are.
They're what we looked at with.
They're commercial areas, but are they, because villages are different than commercial.
I agree, but what they are is the commercial.
Okay, but I wanna make sure it's clear before you adopt this plan, before we end up with 7 more village centers.
What the. Yeah, let's pull it up. And let's look at the colors. Who else has gone through puberty after 60 years old?
Every female, by the way.
Oh,
man. Reverse.
I have.
I thought it was earlier than
Just
60.
That was my-
Just your voice changed. Stacy's voice just got angry.
That happens too.
Mayor, I do have an answer for you on your question. Do you want that now, or do you want to?
Sure, we're waiting for a minute, so go ahead.
So it doesn't distinguish between large and small amendments. It just says if there is a proposal to amend the general plan, which would be anything, then you do have to go through the public hearing and and noticing process.
Thank you, that's how I remember it.
Sucker, there we go. All right. Those of you who were here yesterday, we had.
And I wanna make
it straight.
I want to make two comments, and I'm obviously I'm the one bringing this up because I think it's something that I don't want people to overlook. So if you want this to be the discussion, then we can have the discussion. If you don't, then we go ahead and forward with improvement. But two things to think about. Number one, in taking village areas away, that means we have fewer places to as receiving areas to move TDRs from valley floor, farms and whatnot into. I think we've heard pretty fervently from at least one council member, they're not looking for any more receiving in their area. So that would limit how many places it could go. So that would be one thing to think about in removing it. However, if it's there, then somebody can apply for a village zone to go there and it's backed by the general plan. So to deny someone's application to create a village center in Liberty with it on the map would be going against our general plan. So think about it both ways. The other thing I want to mention, because Councilmember Hickman, I've heard you say it a couple of times in different scenarios about, I will defer because it's that person's district. You all represent a specific segment of the valley, but you are charged with the upkeep and health of the entire valley. So yes, you represent one, but you have a voice in all of them, just to remind you.
Brian, go to the whatever call the thing that tells us what we're looking at. What are the legend? Thank you. The legend. It's down. What are we look? Go down a bit more. There. What color are those? Are those circles?
There are 3 in Huntsville.
So the three. So there are 3 circles that are actually outside of Huntsville city limits. But they are one of them in particular is adjacent to Huntsville, right on the southeast.
So we don't have control of Huntsville. They're in our city.
They're in the Ogden Valley City.
But they're in our.
2 of the 3 are.
Yes.
The other one is Snow Basin. So
Where?
well, no, it's not. Let's go.
If I zoom in a little bit here, the boundary of Huntsville is not well represented in this map. The orange dashed line is actually the annexation declaration boundary of Huntsville. It is not the actual city boundary. The city boundary south of the roundabout ends at Highway 39 and does not go any further east.
So the red circle that's now in our city, but their annexation map, is that?
Yes. Yes, the circle there, and the pink property is zoned Commercial Valley or Commercial 2, Commercial Valley 2. Right now it just has some storage units on it. It's next to the American Legion Club. And then the yellow property immediately south is zoned CBR1 or Commercial Valley Recreation Resort. But that's the meadow with the barn with the flag mural painted on it.
But that's zone CBR1.
It is zone CBR1.
Fascinating.
Yeah, it's CBR1.
And then the red circle in the middle there is the Peterson property, the Chris's restaurant and that property. And then the red circle to the right is the condominiums there. I can't remember, it's east of Lakeside or west of Lakeside, I think, of the development area. And it's actually
Edgewater.
Edgewater, thank you. It's zoned Commercial Valley residential, but the property is already Commercial Valley Recreation Resort, but the property is 90% built out with residential units. There's one parcel left that I've been told historically was considered for a restaurant or some other commercial property, but it is vacant.
Is that the CW basin?
Yes,
Is that what we're talking about?
but the other side is still.
The other side of the,
I think Snow Basin is a good one.
I think so too.
Where's Trappers Loop on this?
Trappers Loop is this kind of
Black line.
There we go. Thank you for showing.
So.
So what is
Those are not
Ashton?
Village centers, those are not village centers, those are commercial, you're noting commercial.
I did not create this
Yeah.
map. This map is a relic from the 2016 plan.
Hmm.
And they are listed on the map as village areas. I don't know.
Read the asterisks.
Yeah.
In the asterisk, yeah.
Okay, village areas shown as quarter-mile radius, circles centered on each area. They're not intended as growth boundaries, but just a conceptual idea of a quarter-mile walking radius.
For the purposes of tonight, we could add to that paragraph saying that we recognize this is from 2016, this demands further study in our
implement.
further work. Or we can go and change the map and decide whether or not we're gonna keep those two as village areas. One of them is on Snow Basin's property.
Okay, I'm under the impression, Corbin, and just to perk your ears here. I am under the impression that if you adopt this as is, even if you put in some sort of language. It is showing where we intend village areas to be, and thereby, when we roll back the moratorium or remove the moratorium, it is fair game for an applicant to put forth an application to create a village in any of these circles. Is that correct?
Is it, yeah, and are you passing zoning that would allow that as well? I mean, does the zone, there's got to be an enabling statute as well, so you've designated it here, but what will the underlying zone allow?
That's where I was going with this. I can't think. Form-based presumably will go away. CVs will exist, CDR1 will exist, but we don't have a village zone yet, and we have talked about having the planning commission or the consultant create for us a village zone. So to his point, there's no way to do it, but to the mayor's point, we are saying that something will exist by leaving it in there.
Yes, it's right.
If I could add, the general plan is still only an advisory document. It does provide guidance and policy decisions, and if somebody came and said, well, your general plan says you've got a village here, I want to do a village here, you are still not legally obligated to grant them that based on what is in the general plan. It's still purely an advisory document. It does not entitle any property owners or to any decision made by the city.
It's still a legislative decision, but I'm under the impression you need some pretty good reasoning to deny if it's said in your general plan that is the intent, and then you deny it.
I think there would be good reasoning to say we adopted a general plan that was written in 2016 and noted that we were not able to update all data, maps, and other information.
I could also add, the only reason I left this in is because I have, it's referenced several times through other portions of the document, and I have not been, I am not aware of any other studies or public conversations that have determined any other priorities for village areas. Now, if I don't think there is any harm in just taking this map out. And we can revisit it in a later iteration or amendment to the plan.
Are these 7 or 9, how are the counties? 8
7.
mentioned elsewhere? Are they mentioned elsewhere?
None of them are mentioned by name. They're just referred to as village centers, as noted on the map.
What's the downside of taking the map out? Not much.
No, not really. I mean, we would have to, I think we'd have to do some minor text amendments to just refer to village areas in general.
Okay.
And then maybe drop in something saying that, village center, maybe identify a land use goal or that village centers need to be clearly identified.
And that's really consistent with where we are in terms of wanting to develop a village zone. We don't have that yet. So putting village zones in a map that's outdated in this plan is questionable. Tia, would that address your concern about?
Oh, because we could address it later.
Yeah, you're not taking the whole map.
Yeah.
The only,
That's fine.
so then the only thing that would stand would be those developments that have developer agreements
Mhm.
that are vested, that have those areas as villages. And that would be Eden Crossing, Wolf Creek, Nordic. Yeah, there's New Eden, there's Old Eden, yeah, everything that there.
If our predicate was, this is a pretty damn good plan and we should mostly keep it, it seems to me we should mostly keep it and put some language in there that says,
Dated.
we've circled these might be the villages, and we will create a village, an enabling legislation that defines what a village is, and you can't do a village until we create enabling legislation,
And these locations may change.
and they may change.
So language that basically says, do not hold us to this map.
Yeah.
That works.
We've gotta get it done with this time. I realize I'm being dramatic.
This, address your concern, again, there's qualification language that says this is only or this is from the old plan, but it's no way adopted.
Not meant to be construed as.
Yeah, it's not meant to be construed as
That's legal and
binding future development decisions. It's for illustration purposes only. Okay,
So instead of taking it out, we just put language in that says it's not, controllable. It's not what we're going to
this is not controlling, it was just to illustrate what was in 2016.
just to illustrate the story.
Yeah.
You written down that sentence, which we're gonna have to read those two sentences when we get to
There was another one.
it.
And I think that, I think that was it, right, her first one was about the 2016-2019 fund.
And the additional reference.
No, she wanted the Bones and Cohen's, Bowen.
Oh, that's right.
Bowen is
So there's three comments. And while she's considering that, Councilmember Julian Baker is 257. Do I believe that correctly that you were no longer here? Yes, I do.
It was noted already.
Thank you very much.
I have Ted as of right now.
Oh, sorry, right now.
Chad has joined.
Hi, Chad.
Are you coming in as an active voting member of council?
Oh, I'm doing a kind of station on you. There you go. Chad, we need you co-host so you can unmute. Janet has a question for you.
Yes, sorry, I couldn't unmute.
Are you
Well,
participating as a full voting?
Sorry, I'm jumping on to participate as far as it makes sense for me to participate in. So I'm not sure where you're at. Sorry for being late. Jumping on, but yeah, wherever it seems appropriate.
Okay, so Councilmember Julian Baker is off and we have Councilmember Booth jumping on at 6:58. And you're gonna be a full participant of voting stature. Are you in a place where this is going, you're gonna participate throughout the rest of the meeting, or do you have a hard out?
I can participate for the entirety of the meeting.
Perfect, excellent, all right. So we're back to 4 voting members. We are currently on agenda item 8. The ordinance 2026-12 general plan. Councilmember Hoagland is clarifying the language for the motion, which will have 3 edits to add. And so as soon as she's done with that, we will be calling for a motion.
Okay.
Tell us about where you are, Chad.
Any discussion that you wish to have regarding the general plan, Councilmember Booth?
Not at this moment, no, sorry. I want to get caught up and get a little bit. I literally just jumped on second that I could, getting finished with some meetings, and so let me sit in and listen for a minute, and if I feel a need to jump in, I will. So I appreciate you asking that, but at this time, I'm just catching up, so thank you for that.
All right.
I need to take some time to catch him up since.
Sure, you can speak as much as you want.
Somebody else.
Not me.
We've had discussion on the general plan, we're at the point of making a motion, and then we'll move on to the next item in the agenda.
Give me a title of the map.
No,
The map of
oh,
the
Commercial locations and village areas.
yeah, you do. Hmm.
Also, wanted to, something with a bit more, because one is the worst, what's the program that you need. Formatting changes.
That is now on the record, I'm sure that the word company is going to be contacting you.
Reach that and talks.
You can tell them what they need to change.
Alright,
I'll give us some words here for the map, okay? We'll say this map is part of the initial 2016 general plan and is provided for illustration only.
not to be,
And shall not be thing,
for future decisions.
controlling future, controlling
Controlling future.
with respect to future village locations. Number or locations.
It's number or locations. Mhm.
It's convenient, hey, a lawyer on state council.
Who's a fast types, okay. I,
Did you get all three of them? Okay.
you know, I'll read them through for trial.
Perfect, just for S and Gs, go for it.
Okay. Okay.
And yes, we'll get.
This would be a motion to adopt with the following changes. Number one, on the cover page, note the prior history of adoption and amendment by Weaver County and state this is an update by Ogden Valley City High Ordinance dated blah blah blah. Number two, additional references to the 2023 Bowens study. Repeating the title and the sponsors. And when the 2019
Hydrology study.
19 hydrology studies reference.
Is there mention in there on the South Fork study? There are 3 water studies.
Don mentions to me its determination as a category 1 water, I haven't seen any reference to study. But we could certainly include that.
It's one of the things we talked with the team from WFRC about in the next update, making sure that we've got all the relevant reports referenced or rewrite sometime next year.
Okay, with regard to the map, this, the map would be qualified with a footnote noting this map was part of the initial 2016 general plan and is provided for illustration only and shall not control with respect to future village numbers or locations.
Okay.
Can I ask you, there was, like Don was saying, is a 2017 study and that was published in 2019, which date is supposed to be used?
I like the 2019,
I'm gonna
because
say-
that's when it was
It
issued.
was published in 2019.
I think it's actually labeled the 2019
Yeah.
hydrology study.
So
That's my recollection.
we have Kay also change the date to 2019.
It's in there. Didn't you put?
I think it says 2017 in there. Okay.
She wants her edition to follow this.
At the time this document was written, it said that the study was underway.
Right.
It's anticipated to be done by the summer
Correct.
of 16. It wasn't, so
It is,
I amended it to 17, but if it was not done, if it was formally issued in 19, we'll change it.
it is archived, I believe, as the 2019 hydrology study.
It's better to have the accurate depiction of it, I think.
So you're gonna have those
Yep.
words too that you're gonna read?
Yeah,
Should you say, why don't you say to the title of the archive document, so that we can put in whatever it's actually. My internet's not, I'm gonna leave it to that. But if I go to Weaver.
What do you mean by archive?
It's a fully finished presented documents on the Weaver County website, it's on our incorporation
The
website
final document?
of the study, the published study. The published study.
Okay. And I have one final tweak, additional textual corrections for typos. Or other minor textual modifications.
Okay. And I would suggest, I don't think you have to actually re-say all this, you can, if everybody's in agreement with what she has just put out, you can reference your notes, pass your notes to the recorder, and our planning director can make the official changes and everyone can vote to approve,
Okay,
I believe.
okay.
I'm okay with that.
All right, I will call for a motion.
I move to adopt, I don't have the document. 2026. Thank you. I move to adopt ordinance 2026-12. General plan for Ogden Valley. With the modifications as previously read into the record. And also which shall be forwarded to our reporter.
Is there a second?
I second.
I have a motion to adopt the 2026-12 general plan and from Councilmember Hoagland and a second from Councilmember Hickman with the amended language as presented by Councilmember Hoagland. It is an ordinance. I will do a roll call vote from ascending order of district. Councilmember Shaw.
Aye.
Councilmember, who's next? Hoagland.
Aye.
Councilmember Booth.
Aye.
Councilmember Hickman.
Heck, yeah.
Alright.
We got something.
We got
Oh, sorry.
That's broken.
Agenda item.
Number
9/21, here we go. 9/21 at 7 o'clock, the ordinance 2026-13 zoning map. On the table is the discussion and then possible adoption, denial, or tabling of the Ogden Valley City zoning map. Take it away.
So if we talk about it, Councilmember Booth has recused himself from this conversation, so we need to decide whether or not to proceed and talk about this, and he recused.
We do have 3 voting members.
Yeah. Chad, you hear what I'm saying? We're about to talk about the zoning map, which is form-based, and you've recused yourself.
Yes, I have recused myself prior to this. And the timing's just not good right now with being able to discuss it. I've asked numerous times to get clarification on it from our city attorney, and I've not received that yet.
Is there something you're wanting to change?
Yes, I've asked him for clarification on it, and have not received it.
What is it that you're questioning?
The need for me, the need for the recusal based off of clarification on the item.
So let me make sure that I understand and then present this back. So you had previously voluntarily recused yourself from discussion and voting of the zoning map due to a possible conflict of interest. And now you're saying you would like clarification from our attorney on whether or not you can rescind your recusal. Is that correct?
Yes, but based off of the timing of this, what I'm going to do is keep that as is, just for complications. I feel like for the best of the city and to not cause anything, but I will stay on the call as far as listening, but not in discussion.
Got it. Okay. All right. We do have a quorum of voting members. So Councilmember Booth will not participate in the discussion or the vote. But you are welcome to be a part of the listening and gathering information, of course. So we will just simply, Kathy, you'll just mute.
I did mute her.
She's fast. All right, so then moving forward with the discussion of ordinance 2026-13, the Ogden Valley zoning map.
So the task we gave our planner yesterday was to talk to this Stoker family about rezoning their gravel pit, which was zone G. Brian, did you talk with them and did you come up with a recommendation?
Yes, I did. After speaking with the property owners about their intent for the property, at least in the immediate future, my recommendation would be to rezone the property to manufacturing one, where the activities that they're engaged in right now, which are essentially temporary storage of construction materials, they are a conditional use. We have a similarly permitted conditional use operation going on in another manufacturing one property in the industrial park of 26 North. It's the 1884, yeah, thank you. So, we have an example of a similar property and the types of conditions that could be placed on it in order to mitigate nuisances such as dust and hours of operation, noise, and tracking mud out into the street, things like that.
Can I make a clarifying statement here? When you're saying manufacturing one, are you saying MV1? Because we don't have M1.
And yes, MV1, the MV1, manufacturing value one.
Okay. All right.
So they did express interest in perhaps operating a building material retail site that is selling sand, gravel, rocks, things like that, landscaping materials. That is not a permitted use in the MV1 zone. At least it was not permitted by Weber County. My recommendation would be, if desired, you could add it as a conditional use in the zone, and it could have similar conditions placed on it if that was, they would have to apply for a permit to continue to begin with that use as well.
Again, a clarifying point. If we wish to add that as a conditional use in the MV1, we can when we go to adopt MV1, but there is no quid pro quo going on right now. In terms of the rezoning of this from gravel, it's not based on the contingent that they have expressed they want to be able to do that.
Correct.
I don't think so. Okay. Alright, so your recommendation is to change that Stoker parcel of gravel to MV1. That is your professional expert recommendation to the council, the council. And the other gravel zone is recommended to be
reverted to Agriculture Valley 3. The property owner there expressed no concerns about that change in there.
Okay, so the middle inlet gravel would go MV1 and the Liberty gravel would go AB3.
Correct.
And that would take away gravel, period.
Yep, gravel goes away. So
Brian, is it possible to put the map up and annotate with these discussions? I think that would help me at least.
can you pull up the ERS?
I pulled GIS, but I can't annotate it on the fly.
Right.
I still straight to 48.
But we can still point out where they are.
Yeah, to look at the zoning map.
So in this particular case, there were two parcels, one in Tia's district, one in mine. Tia's property owner said, I'm fine with AB3. My property owner said, I'm not fine with AB3. And they and the planner talked, and MV1 is the recommended change. If we do this, gravel goes away. We stay with zones that existed under Weber County and will presumably exist under our city, because presumably we'll get MV1 to look at sometime in the next week.
So for people online, what is on the screen at the moment is one of those parcels. That's the one by Middle Inlet. And I believe last time I checked, it's a little over 9 acres.
Yes.
Yeah. And so that one would be the one that's being changed from gravel to MV1. When we have an MV1. ordinance.
So how would that affect the change right now? It's not changing to anything, or is it changing?
No, we would list it as MV.
We would list it as a
No, we don't.
If you adopt this map,
Yeah.
as stated, there are zones on there that we have not adopted yet, but that location of that zone would be declared.
Okay.
And then whatever we adopt later, say like the commercial area, it would be whatever that zone is, but that zone is situated where that is.
Okay.
I would remind the council that there could be unintended consequences of a rezoned MV1 where, the property would now have permitted uses of a more light industrial nature. If the Stokers or a future owner, did opt to seek approval for example, warehousing or a similar structure to be constructed on site. Removing the gravel use, simply removes the possibility of extraction of materials from the site and mechanized processing. Sorting, grinding, breaking, aggregate down into smaller sizes, things like that.
Noted.
It would be permitting more intensive uses.
It permits everything that's in MV1 as a conditional.
It permits whatever you adopt MV1 to.
Whenever it becomes, they will be eligible to apply to the planning commission to do, and eventually, yes. Yes.
So they automatically get to do whatever.
Well, yeah.
If it's permitted in MV1 it will be.
They don't have to come in and ask.
Well, they do have to come in and ask, but
If it's permitted.
if it's permitted, it's an administrative approval.
Yeah.
So as long as they can demonstrate that they're meeting the conditions or meeting the requirements of the.
So structures are allowed where structures are not currently allowed.
Correct.
Open space would not allow them to do what they wanna do.
Correct.
Okay.
Would ag allow them?
They don't.
No.
They don't wanna,
Nor does it. Ag doesn't really allow it.
Those types of industry uses are permitted. So.
is there a way to put, of course, that would limit everybody, wouldn't it? To,
Yeah.
is there a way to limit just a particular person?
Well, when we adopt MV1, you could take away certain parts of it, but it would go to everybody that's in MV1.
That's what I'm saying, is there a way to just,
But it's possible that nobody's using those, I don't know. We haven't looked at it yet.
Yeah, I'm doing this here.
Properties currently zoned MV1 are more or less built out. But that doesn't preclude the future request of somebody seeking to rezone their property to MV1.
as soon as it's rezoned that, then it just, there's no way to put restrictions on a particular property, that is what.
No, that would be predatory.
Okay. All right.
I have to ask, what's the implication of leaving it gravel?
We have a gravel zone.
We did.
And they're fine with the use of that as is. And it's more perhaps cosmetic. We know the consequences of having that as a gravel zone route right now. And it's a no use and allows them to come forward if they want to have a different use in the future.
So
For a different zone.
my question is, if we have a gravel zone, then. If we take the gravel zone out, then there wouldn't be a gravel zone in the valley, right?
Right.
But if we have a gravel zone in the valley, or others,
Yes, they could ask for it, but it's a legislative decision, it could be denied, they're not guaranteed a right or a reason.
Yeah.
Without a gravel zone adopted, no one can apply for gravel zone in the future. With one adopted, they can apply, but they are not guaranteed a rezone.
It's up to us.
I will say, I had a resident contact me and talk about I don't know anything about gravel extraction. I know I was here and present and went to the meetings which were very well attended when,
Behind snow press.
but I know that was an attempt. So I'm familiar with, at least at that time, the public's rejection of the idea. This resident wanted to let me know that if we were looking to increase sales revenue, sales tax revenue, that gravel is unbelievably profitable. Again, I had nothing to back that up, it was just one resident telling me. But I'd be remiss not to share that information.
The property owner does not intend to mine gravel. They were just there yesterday.
I'm talking about if we leave it in and somebody wants to apply, or if we take it out and nobody can apply for it, it is a potential revenue source. Whether or not the residents would be interested in having a gravel zone somewhere. I don't know if we could put it somewhere that's less intrusive. But.
From a planning perspective, having a source that, and of course, this would not be the parcellatory as the fact. Because this is actually more of a reclaimed gravel pit than an actual gravel pit. If they dug a hole now, they fill it back in, but. And they want to use it for more light industrial type purposes. A gravel pit located within the valley somewhere would provide, a useful building material that would be consumed locally. It would reduce the amount of large trucks in Ogden Canyon. There are a number of benefits to weigh against the outlaws and negative effects that all of the development will bring.
So you have to consider where that would go.
Right.
And what would probably.
But depending on if we get it somewhere where it doesn't intrude on residents or not. But that would be a future person. If we're talking about adopting this map, we need to talk about what's on the map and decide for that. Is the way they're using it currently, if we leave it as it is and adopt the gravel zone as is, and they aren't using it for that, they're using it for the way they are they in violation?
That's an excellent question, actually. No, I don't believe so. But they would not be able to do, as I mentioned, they expressed interest in moving to a building material to retail sales activity. That would be allowed. Of course, that's not allowed in the NP1 as currently drafted.
Right.
But
So they can come in for a reason to whatever they want to do, but I just wanna make sure that if we leave them. And now that we're a city and there's actually gonna be code enforcement, are we putting them in jeopardy of being in violation?
No.
Okay. So we could leave it.
Did they express any desire to stay as gravel if you afforded the option?
I didn't even ask.
No, but yesterday they said they were fine with it.
Yep, I'm just asking the planner if you got further information.
You always confuse me when you do.
Because
It sounds like
I
a
wasn't-
question you want an answer to.
I did, from our planner. You were talking to the planner, I was talking to the planner.
I know where the planner's ears different than our ears.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Councilmember Hoagland.
She quietly said to herself, this falls in the leave it alone category. The use is fine as it's being used now. We know what the consequences are of the use. And it sounds like the owners are really considering other uses than would be permitted in the rezone use that we're considering in the.
They wouldn't be permitted in the gravel either.
Yeah,
Right, they'd have to come in.
but it's kind of like
Owner
creating
initiated.
an unusual situation with yet a new zone and a different zone, and then having them rezone. This is one step to the next, and I think it would be fitting that the owners are considering what they really want to do with it. And the zone that we did consider putting them into has some things they have no intention of using, and the city and the neighbors may not like it. So I'd say leave it alone. If it's not broken, don't fix it. It's not broken right now. Comments?
Would you wanna leave the other one where it is too?
No,
You'd wanna change that?
yes.
Okay.
So,
Yes, and
first-
he doesn't, he doesn't care if it's changed. I've talked with him as well.
Okay.
So procedurally. Did we keep the listing of the zones in the general plan that we just approved? Or not?
No.
Okay, good. Because the planning commission scratched G. So if we kept the listing of the zones, we would have to edit our.
So we did, okay.
I'm fine leaving it as G.
Okay.
There's no action by the planning commission at this point to do G, so
We
if
should.
we tell them, if we vote to keep in G, go do G.
Okay.
I'm fine.
Are we
leaving it as
ready to
G.
call for a motion? Do we have
No,
three?
we need to talk about form based.
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
Okay, so where we left yesterday on form based was Kay primarily talking with the landowners of all the presently zoned under Weaver County as form based. And in every case, they accept Davidson, correct, Kay?
Right, but she wasn't able to get.
Right, so single parcel, in every other case, she was able to talk to the property owners and affirm a zone that they would prefer to be in. Kate, you wanna say what they are again?
Sure, and I will tell you where I do want this double checked. Okay, let's start with the. I think it's the Zane for Trust property. And Zane Jr. and his mother discussed, and they said, recognize the problems with form base, they would be fine with CB2.
CB2.
Okay, and I would like us to. So make sure, as you said, that seems appropriate based on your experience. Okay,
That sounds good.
next we have my favorite property called Dog and Bone. A project done by Justin Peck. Along with,
Identify for everyone in the audience and on the record, it's her favorite property because of the name dog. And
thank you.
not because of any.
Not anybody.
I just like
I
to,
just know Kay and she's obsessed with dogs.
and yes, Sean Flood was the other party, and Sean said. Well, they benefited from form base, by getting,
They knew their
TDRs. They were perfectly fine with AB as an alternative.
This is the 20 unit, 1 acre parcels over about 80 acres, and they used the form base back when we were unincorporated to transfer TDRs off of the Sunnyfield Farm property into that residential area. And in order to do any kind of transfer into a receiving, you had to be form based, and that is why they rezoned. They've done that, and so he's fine with reverting back to, you said 83.
Right.
Got it.
Okay, I then spoke with representatives of Clyde Capital,
This is Nordic.
who said they are quite confident in their vested rights under the development agreements and other vehicles. And they said, if you want to rezone us, it's fine. I was under the impression they were going to be rezoned to AB3. They said whatever works, and they're actually to be rezoned to
FB3, yeah. that's Nordic.
FB3. And based on my conversation, I am comfortable with that.
Okay.
Okay, and then finally. Eden Crossing, which is the last form-based property we were talking about. And those people were comfortable also, I believe, with CB2.
CB2.
And acknowledging that they do have vested rights under their development agreements and related documents. I think that
So-
was it.
Acknowledging their vested rights, they get rezoned to CB2. If or when they come in for an amendment to their DA. And we have not adopted at that point, this is a hypothetical, if we have not adopted at that point a village zone. Then when they come in with their adopted or their requested amendment, it would be under a CB2 zoning, is that correct?
I think, well,
I just want to clarify.
My view is it would be up to whatever agreement we make under an amendment to the zoning.
Okay.
The vote, we can.
That's how.
Be amending the DA.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. What about the last homeowner?
The last homeowner, the Davidsons were not available.
It was,
And they have small, single parcel lots. And certainly not appropriate for form-based and fine for AD3.
yeah, once again, it was a situation where they wanted to purchase a TDR. And in order to do that, you had to rezone to form base, even though it was a single family home lot. Separated as flag lot with a creek going through. Anyway, so we would go back to the original sentence, what you're saying, which would be AD3.
Yeah,
All right.
in my view, these are elegant solutions. It serves the interest in eliminating the form-based name, not only for past practice, past properties, but also for future application. And it allows more suitable zoning than just a blanket AV3 for all.
Does that satisfy the market?
Well, I don't think there needs to be any amplification of form based, but let's do it one more time. If we adopt this zoning map, we are not adopting form based.
All form-based areas are being rezoned.
All form based are being rezoned. The planning commission has not forwarded to us a form based zone to consider. Therefore, presumably, form based goes away.
That's correct.
Right.
That's correct. So that would be, so we've done a gravel discussion, we've done form-based discussion. Are there any other discussions on the map?
One last one, the planning commission recommended a change from FE3 to AV3 in District 5. A tranche of properties. Multiple of the home property owners who would be changed from FE3 to AV3 have reached out to me and said they do not wish to be summarily changed. I am fundamentally opposed to placing on somebody a change that they do not want. And therefore, I recommend we do not do as the planning commission has suggested, we keep them all in FB3. And any that do wish to rezone in the future, come to the planning commission and to us in a regular order and apply for a reason. I have talked to Mr. Bill White on that. Bill says he's fine. He will come in the future and apply for a rezone when the dust settles.
Okay. All right,
So that takes care of every one of the
proposed reason.
proposed rezones from the planning commission.
Yes, yeah. In addition to that, is there any other change that anyone on council wants to propose or anything else?
Not
Not
All right, and
I move we approve the Ogden Valley City zoning map as discussed in council. Do you need, Chair, do you need specifics on what we,
got it.
you've got it,
I've got
okay, thank you, there we go.
so motion for ordinance 2026-13.
So, which one?
2026-13.
I move we approve ordinance 2026-13.
The zoning map, there's a motion to approve from Councilmember Hickman, is there a second?
I'll second that.
There is a second from Councilmember Shaw. I will go in ascending order of district with the 3 voting members on this item, starting with Councilmember Shaw.
Aye.
Councilmember Hope.
Aye.
Councilmember Hickman.
Aye. No, he can't vote on this, he's
He is recused, so we have 3 approved for adoption votes, and there are none in denial. Ordinance 2026-13, the Ogden Valley zoning map is approved for adoption.
Celebrate.
Man, we're building some momentum around here.
Councilmember Booth, you're back on.
All right, let's go.
Agenda number 10. By the way, if a councilman would like to reorder these, please say so, but otherwise the next item on the agenda is ordinance 2026-14 definition.
I provided one recommended change and add to the definitions under F feeding areas that was proposed by the agriculture committee subcommittee. I provided that language to Brian. And we can provide it for record if you need it, Sharon, or do you need the entire language? Or,
It does not have to be.
okay,
We just need to reference that we're taking it from the agricultural community.
there we go. So other than that, I've read through it all. I thought the planning commission and the planner did a fine job rolling over what we were going to do.
Any other discussion point, as well from you, Councilmember Booth, on the definitions? If not, I am ready to call for a motion. Make sure your motion includes the amendment.
I move that we approve ordinance 2026-14 definitions
I have a,
Amendment?
with the addition of the feeding area addition. Thank you.
that was submitted, yes.
Yeah, that was.
Okay, second.
I have a motion for adoption from Councilmember Hickman and a second from Councilmember Hogan. Hogan.
Hogan's
Did
Hebrew.
I get it right? Okay, I'm a little bit, okay. All right, it is an ordinance. I'm going in ascending order of district. Councilmember Shaw.
Aye.
Councilmember Hogan.
Aye.
Councilmember Booth.
Aye.
Councilmember Hickman.
Aye.
All right, that is a unanimous decision for adoption, 4-0 for ordinance 2026-14 definition. Item number 11, ordinance 2026-16, the zone AV3. Item is up for discussion and possible adoption, denial, or tabling.
Yesterday in working session, we had Ty Lopshire over here, who's the chair of the subcommittee on land use from the Agriculture Committee. And I reviewed the proposed changes from the Agriculture Committee. This morning, I sent to everybody the updated version of it, where I cleaned it up. I added to it the quote unquote grandfather clause at the end of AV3. I struck what the planning commission had put in there, STR, short-term rentals, no, as we discussed in working session yesterday. We took out the family food production AU. You can have 100 chickens or 200 chickens in an acre business, and we used the language that the Agriculture Committee suggested, and I added the sentence as we discussed about children who live at home who are under 18 who are participating in 4-H and Future Farmers America, et cetera, gonna have an. So that was the changes I submitted to everybody.
Thank you. In considering the 83, it's also for residential, right?
Mhm.
So.
It's also for residential.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, residential that's on this 83 that may want to use their property for extra income, like for an STR. We're taking that away.
There was never any
It
STRs.
was not allowed under River County.
But
It was never.
I think what she was asking was the one that was submitted by the planning commission to us specifically added the language that STRs are not allowed, and we were saying we would take it out because they're simply not allowed.
The Weber County ordinance had no mention of SDRs in the ordinance. The planning commission added SDRs, no, not allowed. We struck that language.
So just a question, how would somebody who wants to use their property for extra income through an SDR, would they apply for a rezone? How would that happen?
There is no allowance for SDRs in AV3. So if you're in AV, so they would have to rezone.
Somewhere.
Now, there are other options for extra income. Almost all of home business are allowed, and agritourism is allowed under the conditional use of agritourism, but there is no allowance for
What about an ADU?
ADUs on extra income, but they are allowed in AV3 under the conditions of the ADU limits.
They would not be allowed as an STR.
Right.
But they're not considered extra income.
They're not allowed for ST, well,
Under Weber County's ordinances, you cannot use them for STRs.
You could rent them on a.
On a
long
month.
term basis.
Yes, on a basis.
Longer, 30 days or longer, and you can get it.
And ADUs are allowed in AB3.
Right, I have a question, have we had anyone come forward from that zone wanting to do STRs, supporting that?
Oh,
That is such an open-ended
yeah,
broad question.
because we have, I think, that's a difference.
It's not a known need.
I would suggest that, well, why do we bring up that question now?
Because we're talking about confirming that no STRs have been allowed or will be allowed going forward. This is
Well,
not,
I wouldn't confirm that either. Your question was, if someone wants an 83 to have an STR, how would they go about it? Would they rezone? Has nothing to do with rezone, it has to do with the STR ordinance. Our STR ordinance, specify current ones, that, well, right now, as a city, we don't have it. It has not come forward yet. The one that was adopted a couple of years ago when we were unincorporated, it specified the exact areas that were permitted to apply for an STR. They were limited places, and the county had made a point that they will not be adding new areas for STRs. But they did reserve the right to allow in a developer agreement certain projects to have STRs. So that's how you have certain projects that are not in those areas that do allow STRs through a developer agreement, they granted it. But no new areas are going to be allowed into the STR permitted zone. We have not seen an STR ordinance come forward yet. Whatever gets approved will be how or when or where STRs are allowed.
Okay. I'm just looking at if anybody, there's people talk about how to make it more affordable,
Right.
living up here.
I will tell you that I held a very large, well-attended discussion when we on Transition Team 3 reviewed the STR ordinance. And it was a very passionate discussion between, so I was looking at an ordinance as it was and whether or not it needed to be tweaked as it was. The passionate audience was pretty well split down the middle between the people arguing for demolishing it and not having any STRs in the valley at all, and the other side of the room equally passionate about opening it to every area of the valley and everyone should get to do STRs. That will probably come into public hearing when the planning commission brings STRs to the table. I would imagine it would, but that's the time for it to be addressed.
So I would propose that we remain small c conservative. The Weber County ordinance was used as the basis for this city ordinance with additions related to agriculture by Planning Commissioner Tyson Lloyd and Ty Lobshire over here. The rest of it is essentially, there are probably some changes, but essentially Weber County. So I made small c conservative, recommend we adopt this. When we finally get to the animated discussion about SDRs in the future, we eventually will come to some citywide decision on how to deal with SDRs. But right now, if we adopt, there are no SDRs in AB3. Nor have there been legally.
Not changing it.
Right, they're not changing anything.
I personally would be reluctant to vote for any added STRs given.
Yeah, but let's have that discussion. I will ask this, is there any language you're still waiting on? Remember there was some stuff we were like, okay, you got everything you
Got Ty, did we get everything?
Yep.
We got everything.
Alright. Any discussion from you, Councilmember Booth?
No, I agree with it. I agree both on the definition side that we just approved, the AV3, and the one we're going to be talking about in FV3 is that I think for the sake of moving this forward, being able to move forward on other important items with the valley and with the residents in the valley, that these are important ones to get through at this point. We're not making anything drastic changes on it right now. It's something that we can look at in the future if need be. But for the sake of helping the residents get moving on important items as far as just being able to build a pole barn in their houses and stuff like that, I think it's important to get this moved through.
Okay. We are definitely changing where they can put that pole barn. Just from 75 feet to 30.
There are some setback changes, yes.
Alright, any other discussion? Otherwise, I will call for a motion on ordinance 2026-16.
I move we approve ordinance 2026-16, zone AB3, the addition that I sent to everybody this morning.
I second that.
We have a motion to adopt 2026-16 zone AB3 with the additions that have been sent forth from Councilmember Hickman, as well as a second from Councilmember Hoagland. I will go in ascending order of district. Councilmember Shaw.
Aye.
Councilmember Hoagland.
Aye.
Councilmember Booth.
Aye.
Councilmember Hickman.
Aye.
That is a 4-0 approval for adoption of ordinance 2026-16 zone AB3 with the additions. Moving on in the agenda to item 12, ordinance 2026-15 zone FV3. To discuss and possibly adopt, deny, or table FV3 ordinance.
This one, I don't recall we spent any time discussing yesterday, so we're now in new territory. The planning commission. If you guys looked at what Weber County had versus what the planning commission forwarded to us, structurally, they're a little different. The planning commission added some stuff. The planning commission added, I believe, all the same language with respect to agriculture that they put in AB3, they put into FV3 as well. Ty and I made the same changes in FV3 as we made in AB3 with respect to agriculture. This is a zone that allows bed and breakfasts. It still allows bed and breakfasts, a consolidated bed and breakfast dwelling and bed and breakfast inn into one section.
Was that change made in the definitions?
I have no idea if it was. I can't check everything they did. But I do know that in the use table, there is just one bed and breakfast versus two that was defined in the Weber County ordinance.
So people there lost one definition. Potentially.
Potentially. I'm not advocating for this, my zone, my district is largely FV3 and AB3 and F5 and F40 and a little bit of smattering of some CV stuff. I believe this one is good to go. There's been some chatter out there about, wait a minute, there's a whole bunch of 1 acre lots, and there's a bunch of 1 acre lots in AB3 as well. But there were a bunch of 1 acre lots on the 1st of January under the Weber County Code, and there's still a bunch of 1 acre lots in FV3 under the city code if we adopt this. So I believe the thing to do is stay small seed conservative. Breaking puberty. Small seed conservative, adopt this as is, as I sent to you this morning, because I made the same updates in this as I made in AB3 yesterday. And we go.
Would you tell me, Janet said there was a bed and breakfast and what?
Well, under Weber County, if you go to Weber County title, whatever it is, there's a definition of Weber County. Bed and breakfast dwelling and bed and breakfast inn, if I recall. I'm not an expert on the subject.
And there are 3.
There we go.
Separate bed and breakfast.
And so in the draft FV3, do you have it up to read, Brian, or should I pull it up?
Yeah, I got it.
All right, go ahead and go to the bed and breakfast section.
So the under bed and breakfast, the proprietor or owner shall occupy the premises, allow only in existing dwellings with no exterior additions or change in residential character. Business license shall be obtained. The lot shall be at least 3 acres in area with frontage on a public street of at least 250 feet in width.
That language needs to be fixed someday because it implies the road has to be 200.
Yeah, the frontage should be 250.
Sorry, are you pulling it up for?
Can you show it on the slide?
Reading under section 104-14-3 initial use.
I'm reading the ones that Don,
Okay.
sorry, Councilman Hickman provided.
Councilman who's doing through the Hebrew.
I have lots of great positive feedback.
I may need some more. I'm doing about one every 20 minutes right now. There it is.
You realize this is all important.
I know, right? That's
So
right.
this is
I
bed
clearly,
and breakfast period.
yes, this
Sorry,
is what the draft ordinance says.
yes. And I'm just asking Brian, so can you please confirm whether that you have removed any reference to bed and breakfast inn that was previously in the Weaver County ordinance?
In Weaver County, New York, the planning commission. Planning commission version is a little bit different.
Okay. Alright,
Let me pull that up.
Yes, please.
Which one are you pulling up?
The version recommended by the planning commissioner. Oh, no, I guess.
Oh, I haven't changed anything in this. This is
No, you're right.
what we got from planning commission.
right,
What Weaver County Title 10414 says is bed and breakfast dwelling subject to the following standards, 1 through 7, bed and breakfast inn, subject to the following standards, 1 through 13.
right,
This says bed and breakfast.
right, okay.
Okay.
So if we continue reading this, the lot shall be at least 3 acres in area. This is new written language.
This, Brian, you can speak to how you wrote this vis-a-vis the Weaver County Title 14.
This was recommended language from planning commissioner member Tyson Lloyd. And the intent was to, well, it defines, you know, the definition between bed and breakfast home and bed and breakfast inn blurs here, but he did include language stating that no more than 2 guest sleeping rooms were allowed in a residential dwelling and no more than 7 sleeping rooms in an inn. I believe the hotel use was intended to be completely removed. Now, a hotel would be up to 20, between 7 and 20 units per bedrooms, I should say.
So he references dwelling and inn,
Mhm.
both under bed and breakfast.
Yes.
Can you scroll down?
He includes parking.
Can you scroll down for us?
Scroll down
Sorry.
for the screen.
Okay, where are we up? Let's try this one. All right, there we go.
So, can I ask that last sentence underlined there, does that mean that the owner's residence will be the bed and breakfast?
Mm-hmm.
The intent of all the bed and breakfast definitions is that the proprietor will reside on the premises.
That's,
Well, but in this case, there is one building,
One building.
yeah,
not just reside on the,
right, now.
there is a building that is the bed and
There
breakfast.
is their home.
Yeah.
And, yeah,
Okay, so parking shall be provided from the host only 1 space per guest room. The guest parking shall be in the rear of an inn. Otherwise, it's for the B and B, it's just in what, the driveway?
For a home.
in the rear of the home.
In the driveway.
Well, is it separate? Yeah, the way this is written is that's the only section of parking right there.
But it specifies inn.
Well, I don't disagree with you. I'm not advocating or not advocating this one. We received this from the planning commission.
Okay, and underneath, you did keep small events and 75 participants. The comments from the team pre-transition were that they thought that 75 participants did not fit the low density use of the zone. Just stating it. But
75 participants at the bed and breakfast?
at the inn.
At a small
For
event.
a small event, family reunion.
Small event is a separate use, independent of a bed and breakfast.
Oh, okay, we're at a small event, so I was back on.
But in that area. Oh, you're saying it's separate completely from the inn?
Yes, small, yes.
It says
small-
breakfast inn.
Small event is a completely different use. For coffee.
No, well, that's not what it reads, Brian, at the
It
very
says
last sentence.
Approved bed and
Only.
breakfast
You
inn.
know, add an improved bed and breakfast in the right?
Okay,
You're correct, Ken.
Weber County said, and only when conducted as an accessory use to an approved bed and breakfast inn. So it's consistent with what we were doing.
Yes, I am just stating and reminding everybody that the recommendation before was they thought it was excessive.
Is that excessive for a wedding now? Because people would have that many at their house for a wedding.
I don't think it's excessive.
Then we can, it's for you all, but it's excessive, I'm just saying.
I'll apply my school seat standard.
They're, not even overnight guests. If that's the way I'm reading it.
Did you let's see, keep scrolling down, there were a whole list of things that could happen, and what could be done. Did you keep the line about ski resorts, including summer skateboard activities as an accessory use? And there's, I think, was there something about motorized vehicle activities? People were concerned about dirt bikes.
What we need. Sure.
That's it, that's the only comments that I would.
I have one more too. I don't know if you needed that, Brian, to tell me, but we have permitted, not permitted, and conditional, right?
Correct.
What is PC?
That's probably a typo for,
Okay,
Well,
like,
it's,
for example, or you can
Private
park here.
yeah, it's a
P has to strike through. And so
Changing to C.
we're changing it from a P to C.
okay.
it just wasn't accepted as a change.
So there was a line before, what's all that?
So no, I believe
The lead public substation, there might have been, there was. Just underneath that before, with Cooper County, there was recreation lodge and then ski resorts. And then water pumping plants, recreation lodge.
so recreation lodges.
Water pumping, I don't think ski resorts, they did that.
Ski resorts, I don't recall seeing.
Okay. Okay.
It's not in the document, there's no schemes.
Alright. Okay, anything else?
Not for me.
Why was on location, why was the chapter 2 Ogden Valley signs crossed out for this?
Where are you?
Location, same document, just scroll to the end. Water pumping, keep going down.
Signs?
Yeah, lighting up signs and location, all signs located within Ogden Valley City boundary will meet the requirements of the sign ordinance.
Item 10, then we took out chapter 2 Ogden Valley.
Oh, that leaves the question of, there was discussion of not repeating other ordinances. In ordinances, it causes confusion when an ordinance is changed, which part is still valid. And the decision or the recommendation from the large group of volunteers to agree was not to do that and just reference whatever the ordinance and let that ordinance be what it is. And here I see lighting up signs and a whole description of what those signs can be lighted as. Would you not want to just put that in the sign ordinance?
This didn't exist in Weber County.
I don't know.
It did, yes, there was a whole.
Yeah, oh, but they did this all the time.
Yeah.
They copied language and then we had problems where it went to an ordinance. And it said one thing, but its own said something else and it wasn't updated and it became, which one is
Yeah,
correct?
this should have been changed, it's just reference the sign design standards and.
Well, but it wasn't.
It wasn't.
Was there a reason it wasn't?
No.
So we could say reference the sign ordinance. Or we could just say be small, C conservative and adopt what Weber County had and fix it later.
Does it, so what Weaver County had was the reference to some, that's right.
That's what the mayor's saying. I don't.
No, it's the language here under land, so.
Oh, okay, okay.
They didn't change this language, so everything that's in there, right, everything that's in there is Weaver County.
Right.
Yes.
Mhm.
I can go either way. I can support it, take this out and say, see the signed ordinance.
Just for educational purposes, I will point out that if the sign ordinance hasn't come forward yet, or wait, actually has.
It has.
If this language that is being proposed is any different than this, we would then need to go and amend this, which means we have to bring it back through a public hearing and everything else, just so that you're aware.
Did the planning commissioners have any comments on any of this sign related stuff in this ordinance?
No, they believe that the title and sign ordinance itself is sufficient.
But it trumps it?
It does not trump it. Now, if we have conflicting standards in a court of law, you'll probably be the least restrictive one will probably be
I
enforced.
would think so. Why not just take this out and reference the sign ordinance?
That's what I would do. I'm okay with doing that.
That sounds economical.
Signs weren't in AB3, were they? We didn't have this conversation there.
That is it.
No.
I think it avoids confusion, it's good drafting, doesn't
Yep.
put it in one place, signs,
Yeah.
brand signs.
Okay. You have the master copy now, Mr. Garber.
Right.
You are in charge, sir. Fly the airplane. Stick it's yours. You're getting rid of that last little bit, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Keep paging through, please. Those are the various uses. Keep going, struck that. You'll see the language that Ty put together in here related
What were
to,
those other references? Just making sure that I got it. Fruit and vegetable storage. We're striking, it's permitted, we're striking out 5 acre use.
sorry about, I didn't catch that. I should have cut the, well, that was what was sent up to us from the planning commission. And
What is small farm events low frequency mean? Are we discussing ag tourism within a zone of SC3 or instead of an ag tourism ordinance? Is that what I'm looking at?
These are agricultural related activities that are permitted in the B3 zone. Small farm events, that C section 104 refers to the AB3 zone.
The AB3 zone,
yeah,
but we're in FB3 right now.
yep, that's true.
So.
Did we make this up or did it come from Weaver County?
This is from Weaver County.
So is it the same? FE3 is the same as the AV3 for small farm events?
This language does not all exist in AB3. Some of it does.
Exist.
Some of it does, but no.
So there's a lot of overlap between the two zones.
There's a reason why the agriculture committee created a subcommittee on land use codes, so that we can clean this all up over time.
Is this cleaned up consistent with their recommendations yet?
As far as.
It's what you and I. Well, what it is the Band-Aids that this subcommittee worked versus the wholesale change that might happen in the future to define agriculture and agriculture adjacent stuff so that we have one consistent set of standards. This existed in Weaver County as this, in FE3, there was a separate over here in AB3. What Ty and I changed in this was the same offset stuff, firearms for slaughtering, things like that.
So, explain to me when you say, what we're doing right now, and then according to the agricultural committee, we have something that will change this?
What I'm saying is the agriculture committee will take on tasks that we give them. One of them may be We got the set of stuff related to agriculture in Forest Valley. We have stuff related to agriculture in Agricultural Valley. We're gonna have stuff related in HR too. Let's at least maybe define an I'm making this up now. Maybe there's an agriculture ordinance or something that define, that undoes some of these inconsistencies perhaps between the 3 or 4 different the zoning ordinances. I don't want to get ahead of the headlights. All the agriculture committee did was try to put some band-aids in this and get it out of here.
And they're working in conjunction with the planning commission.
They're working for us, and when the planning commission asks for stuff, we give it to them, or when we direct them to go do something.
I just don't see this in the Weaver County.
I don't either.
So I don't understand. This is new.
You know where this came from, Brian?
It's not, I've got Weaver County's.
I don't agree. My thought was from the county code, when giving the, they were called. I'd have to go back and check through some of the regular additions to see if it was added.
Because I don't see it in Weaver County Code either.
What it refers to, that section 142-4, is a subsection in the 83 zone regarding events that discusses parking, appropriate health department, certificate and approval, those types of
I would suggest tabling this
regulations.
and bringing it back in our next meeting. And moving on in the agenda is what I would suggest.
Not only tabling, but who go look at what and figure out what's.
That's fine too, yeah.
Instead of just tabling. So, page down through it further, let's see what else we need to have Brian et al. Look at. And get some answers from the planning commission there and Tim. Page down through, please, Brian. Doesn't want to work.
Pretty much.
Yep.
That area.
So none of that existed in Weaver County. So the planning commission added it in here. Perhaps because the Weaver County ordinance says agriculture is a permitted use and it doesn't define agriculture. Just so happens the monastery is zoned this way, right?
So they're adding the ability to have dairy farm or everything.
Yeah, they're, I don't want to presume what the planning commission did, but the fact of the matter is Bill White has been farming and the monks before him, the Wayne's carts have been farming, doing agriculture. But let's.
We need to take a second one.
Yeah,
Okay.
we do. I move we table FB ordinance, whatever number it is,
Ordinance
FB3.
2026-15.
2026-15 FB3. And refer it to the planning commission.
Oh, I would, just keep it in-house.
Keep it in-house and we'll relook it and I will talk with that subcommittee as well.
We'll bring it back in work sessions to work.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, next.
All right, nope,
we
we
got-
have a motion on the table to table ordinance 2026-15 zone FB3. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second with Councilmember Hoagland. I'm gonna go in ascending order for the vote. Councilmember Shaw.
Aye.
Councilmember Hoagland.
Aye.
Councilmember Booth.
Aye.
Councilmember Hickman. All right, 4-0 to table ordinance 2026-15, the FB3 zone. Next one on the agenda, is ordinance 2026-17, zone RE15/20.
Okay. I have questions about this, Brian. Yeah, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. As you know, we got dozens, if not 100 plus emails about,
Communication even tonight.
yes, on short-term rentals that are expressly prohibited by the planning commission. I have a question. Were short-term rentals allowed in the Weaver County versions of RA 1520?
They were not, no,
Okay,
not as a permitted use under the zoning ordinance.
so they were just not allowed.
They are,
Except in certain areas, PRUDs, master zones, but okay. I have the same reaction that I think we took in the same position we took with respect to AB3. If it's not been allowed there, you don't have to rewrite it and say it's not allowed here. So I would recommend we take that language out because it caused great confusion, consternation. And I'm afraid if we accept that language as proposed, it will continue to confuse people. The problem was not the zoning. Problem was enforcement, the lack of enforcement. So that's what I'm familiar with in those areas. Can you tell me what the other changes are? And who hates frogs and chinchillas so much that they want to remove?
well, I don't think frogs and chinchillas were necessarily hated, but the question was, why were they specifically permitted
Yes.
Yes,
in that neighborhood?
That was.
When other animal husbandry was not.
What animal husbandry remains allowed in these zones now? Like they eliminated the beavers, they eliminated the chinch, even though this valley owes land to the beavers. And they eliminated the frogs. I'm looking now.
Well, horses and pets, what else? Dog kennels. Is agriculture?
So agriculture, animals and fowl kept for family food production are allowed as an incidental and accessory use to the residential use. These are all half acre or less lot sizes.
Half acre or less.
Correct. The RE 1520 zone has the RE 20 zones have a maximum lot size of 20,000 square feet, which is approximately half an acre. And the RE 15 zones are 15,000 square feet, which is just over a quarter.
Okay,
So my question is, who was raising beavers on a half acre?
no one that I know of.
And who was raising chinchillas
They're gone.
commercially
And frogs.
and frogs on a half acre property?
What remains to be raised on the fowl? That's reasonable.
Well, we don't necessarily specify. So what we have in this table is the planning commission's attempt to restructure. How this ordinance was presented. It was originally just a text list, they below, so struck out. They reformatted that into the table above. So we have permitted uses requiring 5 acre minimum lot areas. This is a carryover from Weaver County, but this is for a zone that allows 20,000 square foot lots. Now, and my understanding is there are no parcels zoned to this use that are large enough to contain 5 acre use.
Okay.
So
Hold on, if somebody owns multiple quarter acre lots together. Because it's saying in there that ADUs are permitted. I just read that.
yes,
Wouldn't they be able to cluster and put, because otherwise until October. With our ADU ordinance, they wouldn't be able to have ADU.
Yeah.
So, but that you're saying came from Weaver and it says they can.
right.
So the only way I can think of is that we're not looking at them as a quarter acre only, if they have 6 or 7 lots all in that, we can.
That would be restricted, the use is restricted by the lot size, they would have to. An aggregation of lots doesn't get around to that.
Won't this all be moved? By August?
October, but that would only be the ADU part that I'm seeing here, it's not anything else.
And now this is an accessory dwelling unit in compliance with the accessory dwelling unit section, does not explicitly state external.
Oh, it can be internal.
And it could be.
So to say, it would not have been allowed in R one.
No, an external would not have been allowed.
Right.
Internal sewer, okay,
Okay, that makes better sense.
okay,
Until October when
Yeah.
everything changes.
okay. So we're okay with removing the odd animals that are no longer to our knowledge. Being raised or farmed. What about other animals that people may raise, you know, the chicken?
There's chicken.
Chickens, turkeys, waterfowl, rabbit, fish. Fisheries was allowed.
Okay,
Fish hatch on site and the raising of horses, cattle, sheep, goats.
okay, thank you. That is good. Okay.
And the conditional uses were struck and entered into permitted uses in the.
Okay,
We're struck instead as permitted.
They were moved from the conditional use subsection was struck and all of the uses there were added to permitted uses.
okay,
Childcare, educational.
Well, again, educational institutional identification, sign, again, we tried to make that consistent with the sign title, not.
but having childcare is okay in the revision that the commission did.
Childcare is permitted.
Okay.
Residential facility, elderly person, water reservoir.
Talk about the private park, because I attended the commission meeting where they were talking about. Should they limit private parks, should they do something different with them?
Yeah, there's been a lot of conversation about what to do with private parks, as long as they are not charging admission, you know, a for-profit park.
So a petting zoo?
No, these are more just recreational playgrounds.
What about for the ag park, can they charge for that? For commercial use of it, like a petting zoo,
For an ag park,
or the animal husbandry?
This is recreation. What's an example of a private park?
see like a board with the other options.
Oh, okay. Subdivision or space on the.
Yeah, it would just be playground,
Common area.
playground indicated community would be a good example, it's not open to the general public.
Okay, fine with that. Why there's a need, since it's private, why do we need to limit parking to 4 vehicles? Who cares?
If it's private
And
and they
who's
invite
counting?
people.
And there's like, how much?
Private and they invite people.
Yeah, but who cares? It's private parking. Does this apply to? I have an idea. Does it apply to some of the trails or amenities in developments? Where they're private, but there's still public access to it. These are not open to development. Okay.
So where is this zone?
Wolf Creek.
There's some of Wolf Creek.
Well, most of it is in Wolf Creek, there is a small, well, not small, but there is a parcel. Just outside of the Huntsville city limits on the southeast corner across from the storage sheds. So on the west side of Highway 39, that is also zoned from 15.
Okay.
But everything else is open.
So no reason why they limited parking to 4 vehicles.
One of the planning commissioners thought it would be a good idea and nobody argued.
Let's invite them, because it sounds like an unnecessary change.
I'm not gonna argue with you either.
Okay. It's in a private area, so.
That's funny, yeah, there.
Okay, let's keep rolling.
Do you want to remove that line?
Yes.
And then you asked to remove the language
They are.
on the rentals.
Correct.
It allows for density.
Cause it's one density point per corner or whatever.
So those are the permitted uses within the park. We did remove golf course. That's a permitted use. Greenhouse and nursery is a permitted use.
And there was. Opposition to removing short-term rentals.
Yes, but that's partly a communication error because it's.
As I said,
Councilmember Hoagland has already said, they were not allowed under Weber County Code.
okay, let's go up a bit.
Are they on here?
Because the planning commission wanted to very emphatically express that they were not allowed, not just keep them off the list.
As I said, they're controversial.
It was for emphasis that they put it in.
Yeah, I don't think we need to do that. One law prohibiting something is enough to prohibit it. We don't need three that say the same thing.
Let's go up another golf course greenhouse elimination. Why do people get a commercial greenhouse? Here we go. Golf course. Except miniature golf.
That was all stuck out.
Greenhouse in a nursery.
You're on a half-acre lot, right?
I will say that the one by council members back during transition, there was also a question of having the greenhouses be commercial use.
I think
They did not want them.
I think this intent for a greenhouse on, for example, a half-acre parcel for sale of material produced on site is more of a home occupation than it is a large retail concern.
It's a way to earn money.
I would, yeah, and the gentleman that talks about advocating agricultural uses.
Okay, let's remove the prohibition on greenhouses in nursery.
How do you all feel about that, just so you're paying attention to what's happening?
I'm trying to pay attention and find it here, instead of look at it.
I will give you an example. Lots of people like, sort of lotus that are really hard to grow and they're beautiful. Or
Lotus flowers?
No.
Lotus flowers grow.
let's say I grow forsythia, no, let's say I grow tulips. And I wanna sell my tulips. Sounds like a good thing for a Dutch woman to do. And so this would say, I can't sell tulips that I cultivate. I think that's like a nice home industry, a home business, why would we care?
What if you had like, I've seen people who grow flowers and then just let the community come and pick them and make their own things. Flowers, and then that.
I think if they charge for it, if you wanted. And you pick flower garden, why not? It's not disruptive, it's not offensive.
That's,
Oh, yeah, what were you saying, Brian?
no, it made sense as soon as I heard my notes.
Yeah, okay. I
If
I like-
Kay wants to have her tulip shop.
yeah. I'm gonna get busy, it's too late in the season, but we'll go. Okay. Any other changes that jumped out?
Is there any part of the golf course that's in a RE15 program?
No, golf course properties up there are all either under
Open vision, no worry.
open space.
Yeah.
I think some might actually be
I think it's mostly O1.
FV3, but or not FV3, FR3. But I haven't.
I'm looking at it now, I see mostly housing.
Open space,
Okay.
I don't know, like those parts of the golf course, I can't tell, but it looks like there might be something. RE15.
Up in Wolf Creek, I'm just asking since you're removing the ability for a golf course.
No, the golf course is already in open space now.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
it's
And
very small.
you switched in the old version with Weaver County, it said small wind energy system, and I see that you switched that to solar. You took out wind and put solar in,
Yes,
and that was the recommendation by the planning commission.
yes. I'm concerned about the height and sound of
What else?
on-site, or residential wind generators, you know.
But you can put a solar, and, okay, solar energy system, is that for personal?
Yeah.
Okay,
For
Yeah.
residential use, you know.
A wind
And
system.
doesn't it say they can't, like, be able to gather and sell it? Doesn't it say something about, yeah, I thought it's in there.
Okay, there's some small, not all, wind generation for single use. And I get it, you don't want something tall and huge, obstructing views, but
don't have height requirement or height maximum limitations,
Yes.
wouldn't that kind of take care of anything too tall,
okay,
then leave it in?
yeah, energy, it will save people money if they can.
So you
And
can
they're
have
not-
wind and solar, as long as it stays within the height
How
requirement.
about you just say renewable, which
Yes.
is the term word.
Thank you, renewable energy sources.
So is there a
Whatever.
limitation, like it's to one per property?
It's for personal use,
And he said it's limited to the lot, not aggregate areas,
so it's only for personal use, so you wouldn't have a wind farm on a small lot.
just simply.
You might have, I know people who,
Can we speak to these in AB3 or FB3?
And it was conditional in Weaver County, did they move it to permitted? So that they wouldn't have to come in and get a conditional use permit?
Correct.
so you're retaining wind and solar. That's what I would recommend.
So they changed all of those that you had to come in and ask permission so that they're just permitted, okay.
Small wind energy systems are a conditional use in the 83 zone,
But they've been moved to permitted here,
where they were moved to permitted here.
Why is that?
Why they gave it consistency?
Because we're not keeping good notes.
That's a very honest answer, I appreciate that. It was a conditional use before.
I think it should be conditional.
And in AB3, it's an on-farm renewable energy system, but it's not this, but it's
It's not
on.
permitted, it's conditional.
No, it's permitted, but it's
Okay.
farm versus residential. So if you're a residential only, can you have renewable in AB3?
Something to fix later.
Yeah. Something to fix later.
Keep a small wind and solar permitted. Whoa, 10 dogs. 10 dogs, 10 cats, those are puppies.
Yeah, we spent way
It's
too
okay.
much time arguing about how many dogs should be allowed.
Yes, you
I
did.
wonder why that happened.
Yes. And how many horses and
I heard about that.
Okay, we can keep going.
we've got big problems to deal with.
I think, yeah, they wanted to just label that renewable. Now, do we have to, if it's permitted, therefore, do we need to change the definition? Do we have renewable listed? Otherwise, we don't have a definition. We already adopted the definition.
We will use the general language as renewable, is no. If we, yeah,
In definition.
We should use the lake for some definition of common use of.
The mayor asks a good question. I'll look while you guys go to the next one.
Okay.
Maybe we can get out of here
We
before.
do have a definition for small wind energy system and small solar energy system.
But we don't have a
But
definition.
not for renewable.
So let us use.
So why don't
Go
we?
back to wind and
Small wind and small solar.
good catch.
It ain't gonna be perfect, but it might be beautiful. Okay. On we go.
So they won't need to cover. There won't need to be
Right.
extra checks on anything for that.
Correct.
Got it.
So what's this here? They've added farms.
Well, so these were already allowed uses on lots with 5 acre minimum size in the zone. This is a restructure.
I don't understand the required 5 acres minimum when you said that they are either quarter or half acres.
Yeah.
I agree, that's
What are you
that's
talking
an
about?
artifact from the Weber County Code.
Do we dare eliminate it?
Fix it.
I mean,
It was the point.
so it's 20, so the zone allows for lots as small as 15,000 square feet. But it does not require that all lots be 15,000 square
Thank
feet,
you.
so there could be larger lots.
There you go.
Then we leave it.
And so,
There you
Okay.
go.
So
And that explains why the ADUs. were there.
in this zone, they have one paragraph defining livestock.
In this zone, in the old one or the new one?
Right here. And in AB3, we've got a little bit more. I'm not arguing for more rules,
Last.
but my gosh, do we have way different standards in our different zones that we inherited from the county? We need, which is why the Ag Committee will look at making this.
Well,
Consistent.
yeah, and if it wasn't in Weaver County, can we take it out?
I believe so. Small C conservative. Look, why are we changing shit for
I agree.
us?
Was this in Weaver County?
this was all in Weber County. We
Farms and
in
grazing.
the table. You see these stricken paragraphs from the original Weber County Code.
Okay.
Farms,
My granddad used to raise beaver.
There are
it
beavers.
was a big.
By the way, the beavers are back in our valley.
Yeah.
So don't disparage the
I
beavers.
don't see that table in the original.
I'm looking for it too. I'm
Beaver
not finding it.
Well, it was not a table, it was not in a table format, it was simply,
Narrative.
it was,
Forest residential, right?
yeah.
No, we're in RE15 and RE20.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
My bad.
And
Thank you.
what would be the? I'm looking, I don't see anything about farming.
Look at something A.
Childcare, residential substation.
Do a search.
Oh, hold on. I got it. Farms devoted to hatching and raising includes fattening and infant to raising of chickens, turkeys, and other fowl. The following are permitted in the RE zones, RE15 and 20. Following uses are permitted. Okay,
Okay,
that was it. I
is that it?
Good for
don't
them.
know what it reads now.
They can do whatever they want with one paragraph and.
It does allow the front.
Actual farmers, a whole bunch of.
We've got site standards, minimum lot size and
Makes sense, right?
setbacks, there's the accessory setback, accessory building setback was reduced to 5 feet.
Okay. And we got signs.
That was it.
Yeah.
Should we take signs out?
Signs.
We changed the sign regulations to refer to Title 110.
Okay, do we even need that if Title 110 is the sign ordinance? I would say take it out. Now, the only thing that doesn't say, we're gonna comply with it. The sign ordinance, which is elsewhere, so I just take it out.
Does that
bother you?
Does it at least acknowledge you can have signs? I don't know, I'm fine with that.
What did we say in the other one?
Take it out, I think we took it out.
Or didn't we say refer to one of
We
the?
said
In FV3, we just left it as a reference to
Okay.
Title 110.
Then leave
Of course, we
this.
tabled FV3, but
Yeah.
refer to, just say refer to this.
This doesn't hurt to leave it in.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Okay,
Anything else going down? Should be the end of it.
Okay,
All right.
does anyone want to discuss?
I think that was what it was.
That was an extensive discussion.
Anything else to be said?
Okay.
How many dogs should be allowed?
No.
How many frogs? I want frogs back in your
Well,
words.
frog legs are easy.
They are.
We can have one. Any better to much?
I will entertain a motion.
I move that we adopt. Ordinance, ordinance 2026-17, zone RE 15/20. With the changes that we have agreed to, in council
This evening, yes.
this evening.
All right.
I second.
We have a motion to adopt tonight's amendments to RE 15. And adopt this now with those amendments by Councilmember Hoagland and a second by Councilmember Hickman. All in favor? Nope, that's not how I'm doing it. Sorry, Councilmember Shaw,
Aye.
Councilmember Hoagland,
Aye.
Councilmember Booth,
Aye.
Councilmember Hickman.
Aye.
That is 4 in favor of approval and adoption of ordinance 2026-17 zone RE 15 and 20 as amended this evening. Fantastic. Moving on to item 14. It's currently 8:35. Do we need to just come to an agreement that we're gonna continue?
Yeah, because I have not seen the HO.
Just
Brian,
ask council.
So
Council and staff, if you're available to continue. I'm
I'm good for another half hour.
for another half hour, 30 minutes on mine.
Okay, I can't talk about the zone, I haven't seen it.
We can discuss it tonight. We can use this time for discussion. And then you're gonna come forward on it. All right, we're gonna continue with item 14. Or I guess I should ask if we only have a half hour, is there an item you'd like to move forward?
I would suggest we go to the design ordinance, the non-zoning ordinances, which are less complex, and
Yeah.
see if we make our way through those. We come to an agreement on,
So would that include starting with design and then go to administration and blah, blah, blah?
yeah, however they're ordered.
And the signs isn't zoning either.
They
Right.
don't have numbers by them?
Not yet.
There's
Not yet.
There's.
I would do. So Brian, which one of these have the fewest edits by the planning commission?
Oh, boy. Let's see, number 19 on your agenda. With this,
Creation, implementation, amendment, and effect.
yeah, Title 101. Chapter 1.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You've already adopted chapter 2 for that, with just the definitions.
All right, so will you pull that up on the screen, please?
Well, I might be one of the good at least.
They were
No.
linked by Brian. Were they not?
They were
Were
that-
you sent us Brian?
They are in the, yeah, they are in the
See ya.
folder on the other plan. I didn't send this individual attachments.
As an aside though, I was looking for the documents under the public hearing notice of April 14th, including the HR and all that.
On the website?
And on the website, and it seems like they've been removed.
Oh, it's showing only the 10 closest ones. I can get that fixed to just show all of them. I just wasn't sure if I get to Nancy Ford one.
That's where I'm going to see all of them. If they're there, I can see them, or is that something that has to be technical and then we,
I probably just deciding on the
That'd
website
be great.
right now.
Okay,
because then we can pull it up right here.
yeah,
I can send you the link to it.
But we can do that too.
It's nice to look, well.
Well, and the people online, absolutely. I'm just saying for us, it's hard to really see that far.
So this is all very procedural language on defining what the land use code is. We did a paragraph in here. Sorry, I don't know why it's not showing the whole info. We did have a paragraph in here clarifying the purpose. Just stating that, you know, the commission is an advisory body and the city council is responsible for legislating creation of the changes of language, and then the appeal authority is in charge of hearing appeals for any disputes in the code.
She's not my background, it's in Weaver County.
So we received, several comments from the water quality, local water quality team. They asked that we include additional language in this section on clarifying the city's recognition of water issues within the community.
Doesn't hurt.
Well, hold on. What exactly would we be clarifying? Because we don't deal with water in land use. That's for the water.
Well, land use decisions impact.
They have to get approval from the water boards and districts.
Yes, this is not just water access, however,
The impact.
they want to make sure that the city recognizes the decisions made regarding land use have impacts on groundwater quality, surface water, all those things. It is not offensive language. I don't know if it's necessary, but
Okay, and you wrote it and clarified it.
I'm not troubled by it. I think it's generally a good reminder.
we added this supersection of prior regulations, just stating directly that this title overrides any prior Weaver County regulations. Any existing legally established use will remain so. It's just a recognition of existing uses.
This is pretty much boilerplate, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
But yet, they didn't adopt it as was.
Right, we didn't copy and paste it directly out of Weaver County. There were a couple of modifications. In the city code, we added a statement that conflicting ordinances within the city code, the more restrictive provisions will apply. And if somebody takes us to court on that, I'm not sure it'll hold up, but let's see, everything else was replacing Weaver County, Weaver County, that's it, yep.
I don't think the water language is necessary, but I don't mind it being in there. Whatever, it's.
Did you keep the section on certain ordinances not repealed or affected by the adoption of code? Would be at the bottom.
Yeah, all the way to the bottom.
Yeah, you did.
All the way up. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
comments, questions?
Can you go to the language about the planning commission versus city council respective?
Where went that?
It's right there. That's all he wrote right there.
In purpose, is that what you're saying?
This title shall be administered by.
Okay. So it's under conflict. I'm trying to compare it to, so it's under short title.
Where is this physically in the document, Brian?
It is section 101.
Yeah, short title.
Short title.
Okay.
Just real quick, seems like to me. Okay, this title shall be administered by the land use authority. Is that the city council?
The city council has designated the planning commission as the land use authority.
Okay.
Wait a second.
That's not true.
No,
Is that not true?
no.
Fix the website for you.
Thank you. Now you'll find it on the website.
Which one are we on?
I apologize for my assumption. Most communities designate the planning commission as the land use authority
Oof.
for administrative purposes.
No.
For what purposes?
For administrative decisions.
That is not what the county did.
What did we do in our municipal code? Because that's where we defined it, if we defined it anywhere.
I can bring that up right away too.
Are we on administrative?
I wanna say we were the legislative body, except for in appeals, we have an appeal authority. That's my,
The city council is designated as the appeal authority, if I recall.
it's changed now.
And it's changed, okay.
How about this?
Okay, so I have this is the copy of the city code that I received as of. In January.
It's in Title II unless we changed it, isn't it?
So what it said before was that, you know, in Weber County, what it currently says in Weber County, the planning area, planning commission or other entity designated herein shall be the land use authority with due responsibility to administer the land use code. And then appeals will be heard by the appeal authority. And then later on, they have it changed with the administrative items went straight to the legislative body, which was the planning director specifically. So administrative items were taken away from the planning commission back at Weber County, as well as any small, even just anything 10 units or under, we didn't even get to see, they were taken away and given to the planning director.
That's not uncommon for minor subdivisions under.
Right, but and what you said was that the planning commission would be the land use authority.
Well,
It just goes.
what,
No?
Yeah.
well, does this define the land use authority, yes or no? It doesn't. It says, that's defined by Utah code. Then it says what the planning commission does and what we do.
It's advisory.
So what does our municipal code say? Because I believe we define who does what in the municipal code, did we not?
You're talking about the planning commission?
Yeah.
Code that it's about?
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. So let's see what that says. It's in Title II somewhere.
This is a meeting one. Where's Scott?
Deputy, thanks for being the last person sitting.
No worries. I'm here for y'all.
I knew Lieutenant Krieger said you had no choice.
And then quickly. 2.04. 2.04, you're saying?
Yeah.
2.04, this is the newest version.
Yep.
Okay, planning commission. Alright,
Let's see what we said.
it says. Authorities and duties of the planning commission. Ogden Valley Planning Commission is authorized to fulfill all duties and obligations set forth in the state code. Which blah blah blah, appeal authority.
It's okay to refer to state code.
This is our newest one.
Yeah, okay.
One that we stopped it.
I'm asking,
Yeah.
the newest one we adopted just recently.
And the land use code says per state code. I'll go back to it, please. bro.
Oh,
This is not the newest one
no,
we
this is the
adopted
one we adopted
in January.
in January.
Yeah, this is, we
It's
replaced,
not your,
yeah, we replaced that.
okay.
Can we answer this tonight? Do we have it?
I can find it. The planning commission. We didn't put it on the, I will find it in our code.
Just put on the website.
This was
Is it?
special. We asked for it to be put on.
Planning commission, let me search for it.
I have not seen it on the website yet, unfortunately.
Ordinance.
Some share.
Yeah, but it's not for, our public does not have access easy to the laws of the land.
And we're.
That's required by state.
Mm.
That's what.
Mhm.
Okay, here we go.
Not taking on that one.
Yeah.
This is
You're not taking on that one.
327. I'm pulling it up. This is from an email from me, so this is not the final, I don't know if we changed certain things, but in it states specifically. You're looking to tell. This is on membership, organization, procedure, functions and duties. It shall be the function of the planning commission to oversee the proper development of property within the city. In accordance with pertinent city ordinances and provisions of Utah code annotated Title 10, Chapter 9A, as amended, the duties of the planning commission shall include but not be limited to the following. Prepare and recommend a general plan, street planning, zoning map, zoning ordinances, and any other relevant proposals and recommendations to the council for proper development in the city. Second, prepare and recommend any additions, changes, or amendments to the city's general plan street map. Administer the provisions of zoning ordinances, recommend subdivision ordinances and regulations and amendments thereto to the city council, review non-conventional subdivision applications, advise the city council on matters requested by the city council, hear or decide any matter that the city council designates, including the approval or denial of or recommendations to approve or deny conditional use permits, prepare and recommend programs for public improvements and financing thereof to the city council, exercise any other powers that are necessary to enable the planning commission to perform its function or that are delegated to it by the city council.
Why do we need that provision here?
That's, you're looking at the wrong document. Talking back to the land use code, please, Brian.
Is that what was adopted? Did we just do the, what are you in now?
Go to the land use one, please, Brian.
This is the muni code.
Yeah, toggle back to the.
Anyone online still?
Or, yep,
Yes, I'm still here.
quite a few people, Chad, Angela Jean's here, and then,
Okay, so
Brian's these.
Does this risk conflict with what was adopted for the municipal code? It's doing.
Corbin, you're our lawyer. It makes sense to me to say, follow the Muni code. The rules are laid out in the Muni code.
It's out, so there's no conflict.
Yes, I'm fine with that. And we're gonna have to change, there's a new code that goes into place on July 1st that does not allow the city council to be the appeal authority anymore. So we're gonna have to come back and revisit this anyway. So yes, let's just make it internally consistent for now, and then we're gonna have to come back and relook at this.
Okay,
Perfect.
take it out. Having it in two places causes confusion
Agreed.
Yeah.
and opportunity for contradiction.
Corbin, you did not give us a number for this one. It's XX on our agenda.
Yeah, it was
So
around the top.
let's see, we circulated these, let me look at this and I'll find the number for
Can
you.
we vote to approve it tonight?
Yes, he said we can do that. I
We
can
can
put it
approve
up.
it and then we'll add a number to it. Yeah.
He said we could do that.
Wow.
I know.
Let's get this done.
All
We're
right.
close to our half hour limit.
Did we like the rest of the language?
I was okay with it.
Yep.
So we were cutting out, where did that go? We were cutting out section 101-1 short title, is that correct? Cutting out the addition, keeping the rest? All right, and then the purpose is, and interpretation, anything in here controversial, people? Conflict, not controversial, but like controversial, conflicting with the ordinance.
Again. Where it says short title. Okay, let's look at this.
Sorry, I was being.
Planning area, planning commission. Or other business, shall be the land use of. Now, is this
Language that we just cut.
true? I mean. Does our code language do this?
The what?
You know.
I'm trying to follow.
From here, okay,
The planning area, planning commission, or other entity designated herein shall be the, no. That was what we were taking out, I thought.
there was another paragraph here that we took out, but this seems to be duplicative of that as well.
I thought we were taking out all
We
of
took this out. But we didn't realize this is also stated up here.
I would say, whatever the lawyer says to say, the rules are in our municipal code, Title II, chapter whatever, period. Because that's where we can find them, isn't it?
I feel like we should have gone to design standards. I feel
Okay.
Well,
Does,
we've got 6 minutes left of our house.
does what was adopted in the code, the community code, define land use authority? Who is the land use?
Let's ask our attorney, what should we do?
Let me look at, well, you've got 6 minutes. Dang you guys. I think that we just refer back to the code, the section that we've got, make it as simple as possible.
Well, there's other sections that you guys should be aware of. I mean, there's mentions of amendment to code effects on new ordinances. I think you guys should table this and look at it.
Okay.
Previous ordinances and maps, rules of construction is in here. I think you guys should pay attention.
That's not pretty standard.
All right.
It's up to you. It's your vote.
5 minutes to fix it.
Okay, let's take some time to read it. What do you think?
That's 101-1.
101-1, that's what it was, if we were counting, yeah.
We've got 5 minutes left before we could read to end. Janet, Mayor, Router, point us to what you're suggesting we should read.
So the other sections in this that you might wanna take a look at, things like. What would I say, certain does not repeal.
Yeah, this is gonna be outloaded.
Yeah, Corbin's gonna take care of that. Let's see what Janet is saying that we should read, other than this.
Implementation now, hold on, hold on, effects of new ordinances, effect on, okay, start with. Reverse it is not listed, 101-1-5, effect on previous ordinances and maps. I just wanna make sure everything is kosher in there.
Attorney, is everything kosher in there?
Let me just a second here.
This is why I expect legal counsel to, I'm not trying to throw you under the bus, Corbin. But when stuff comes to us, we should know that it's internally consistent with the rest of our code before
Yes.
we have to make sausage.
All 1,000 pages.
No. We're 5 of us are probably the least
Yeah.
best way to try to make sure things are consistent across multiple codes.
Turn the zones. What you've got pulled up on the screen, just so we're talking about the green language, is that what we're talking about?
We can't see it, Ryan, we're, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so I'm fine with the language. That's pretty standard, a pretty standard way to use it, where you're just saying whatever the most restrictive provision is. If there is a conflict, then the most restrictive applies. We oftentimes put that in code just in case, because there's.
That's our 1.1-1-6, rules of construction.
I'm sorry, I was reading the one above that. So we're.
Oh, I see, okay, sorry.
I want to make sure I understand what we're talking about here. Is that the language that you're asking me about?
I want you to tell me that this ordinance is legally consistent with the rest of our code.
Be specific and you'll be.
Well, I don't know the question to ask,
Okay.
but we're sitting here making sausage, trying to say to ourselves, is this consistent with some other code?
So yes, with that language in green, and it's not uncommon to have a scenario where you're putting new code in place and there's unintended areas of the other code that you didn't know about. And so you do a catch-all provision, just like we've got here, that says the more restrictive provision, if there is any form of a conflict, the more restrictive provision applies. You can pass it with that in it. And then if there is a conflict, we can clean it up later, knowing that the more restrictive provision in the code, wherever it exists, is the one that's going to be applicable.
Okay.
All right, I'm good with that then, and scroll down, see, is there any other changes?
Whoever the scroll meister is, please scroll down.
Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
So what's this substantive change?
Other provisions.
This is what he was saying, more restricted.
Okay, keep going, Brian. We just looked at that one.
Yeah, I don't believe anything else changes other than.
All the way down, we took out, what did we take out?
Took out a reference to Ogden Canyon.
Okay.
Huh.
Okay.
This is all formatting.
Oh, wait a second.
Severability.
Wait.
Okay, go back up to the top then, and did we get clear on what's happening in that first section?
First paragraph, second sentence, we need clarification.
Corbin, short title. What should this say vis-a-vis our municipal code?
That should be known as the
It
uniform.
is what, how does the code define land use authority? Who is it? Typically, the land use authority is the person or body given the powers and duties of determining if applications are compliant with the code. Those are oftentimes, in many cases, it can be a staff member. But it is also in many cases the planning commission themselves. For example, if a large subdivision came in, staff would certainly review it for compliance, but the planning commission has the authority to decide whether or not it is actually compliant.
So have we defined that anywhere right now?
In
I don't think we
copy of
have.
code, I don't see it.
I don't think we have.
In Janet's, in that
And
ordinance.
Let me explain. This is an important thing because you do need to designate someone as your land use authority, because as people come in and they make applications, and that's normally the city planner, he or she is going to be the one that is interpreting your code. And if there's a disagreement, then he'll issue an administrative decision in writing that says, this is the way I interpret this. And then we're off to the races on the appeal process, which right now would go to you as the city council, but after July, it will go to another appeal authority. So you have to have someone in place that has that authority and can make those decisions, and you need to designate it.
Understood. Did we designate it in our municipal code? Yes or no?
It's dependent on Janet's, what was the ordinance that you were reading?
What was the ordinance number for the planning commission?
We voted on it 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I don't know that we designated it in that. I think that there was, I don't think we did. Let me pull that up.
What if this language says? The,
And if we haven't, then we should have a discussion, maybe not tonight, on what we want to do. Do we designate Ryan? Or do we designate the planning? Or do we split the duties?
designate the planner or the person or persons designated by the city council.
Well, the link, isn't that what that language does? It says the planning commission or other entity designated herein. You have to state it there.
So by default, it's the planning commission that is the land use authority.
Do we wish to have our planning commission as the land use authority?
I think they need more, I think this strikes me in terms of applying what's compliant is more of a professional role, not a advisory role. And our planning commission, the role at this point is much more advisory.
In most communities, it's split. You have certain, the administrative authority given to staff, and you have certain administrative authority given to the planning commission.
We are a new city. And do you know what, we have to go through a split to get this fixed. We have to go through an analysis of which functions go to which party.
So right now, our code says that the planning commission acts as the land use authority only for those matters expressly assigned to the planning commission by this code or other ordinance. And so we did not designate them as the general land use authority. And because it's dealing with the planning commission, it doesn't deal with like appointing the city planner as the land use authority. So this is only dealing with the planning commission.
I didn't understand.
I didn't understand that when you're saying this is only
Well, that's not how I read it, Corbin. It says the planning commission or other entity designated herein shall be the land use authority, period.
And they're the administrator.
So that means it's the planning commission the way it's written.
I'm reading under 2.04.110. Where are you reading?
We're in the land use code. Where are you?
So this is what we adopted.
Okay.
The ordinance that we just adopted, 2026-11.
All right, what's it say?
So it says specifically that, let's see, that's where I was just at here. Give me a second. Powers and duties of the planning commission. Under C, it says to act as the land use authority only for those matters expressly assigned to the planning commission by this code or other ordinance. And so we've assigned it to review and make recommendations to the city council regarding the general plan, to review and make recommendations to the city council regarding land use regulations and amendments and public hearings, to act as the land use authority for those matters expressly assigned, and to advise the city council on matters related to planning, growth, land use, zoning, subdivision, regulation, etc. To perform such other duties as may be assigned by law or ordinance.
So the second sentence.
I think
I'm going to Zoom. I just think it's,
So
the second sentence contradicts that.
the second sentence of the land use ordinance that we're looking at appears to contradict that.
Or raises a question of whether it's compatible since it's in the municipal code.
So I would add that administratively, the next title in line is Title 102. So this is Title 101. This creates the land use code. This is the organizational law that creates the land use code. Title 102 is the chapter or is the section that Weaver County created that outlines the powers and duties of the planning commission, the planning director, those things. Those would be in the next title. That Title 102, Chapter 2, powers and duties of the planning commission from Weaver County is different from the powers and duties of the planning commission that the city adopted.
That's correct.
So let's keep that.
So
It's already in the municipal code. Take out the second sentence here because it creates potential for conflict and inconsistency. Okay, on appeals, is that designated in this code?
It was in the county and they're putting it forward like it is, but we addressed it in our muni code.
And take that out too, because we're gonna have to change it.
Yeah, coming up anyway.
And it's easier to change it in the muni code than in the land use code.
Yes.
Correct.
Ay.
Planning commission,
I'm confused too.
all of them, I had their.
All of
Any
them,
appeals, any appeal, yeah.
all of them, it's mine. All right, are we close?
Okay.
We are 8 minutes past our 30 minutes.
How are we doing? You guys comfortable with it?
I'm comfortable with this, but I think it's with the caveat, we should say our code is municipal code title 2, paragraph, whatever, to tell people where to go to read the freaking
That's,
code.
well, that I think should be added into the title to
The
administration.
next one.
Okay,
So the motion, if you guys are interested in approving this, should include the changes made this evening.
I move that we approve ordinance
It's
2026-XX
actually 25. I looked it up. Ordinance 2026-25.
-25 as edited this evening in city council.
second,
I have a motion on the table to adopt ordinance 2026-25, which is the creation, implementation, amendment, and effect. Chapter 101-1, and it's from Councilmember Hickman and a second from Councilmember Hoagland. Starting in ascending order, District Councilmember Shaw,
Aye.
Councilmember Hoagland,
aye.
Councilmember Booth,
Aye.
Councilmember Hickman.
Aye.
That is 4 votes for the approval of the adoption of ordinance 2026-25, the creation, implementation, and amendment in effect, chapter 101-1. For adoption, they said approval for adoption. There we go.
A diddly dog.
There you go, approved. Alright. It is 9:10. I see no reason for a closed meeting and therefore we'll move to take a motion for adjournment.
I move to adjourn.
Got
Second that.
motion from Councilmember Hoagland and a second from Councilmember Shaw. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It is 9:10. We are adjourned.